Peace, 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 peace. This is a Autochthonous one. You see the title of the video. The title of the video is "Will the Real Aborigine Please Stand Up?" The real American Aborigine please stand up. Now, let me see something real quick before I go into this. Open something else up. Etymology as always. All right, you guys, we about to go in this. All right, this is actually I actually watched the video last night with Curry Davis and the brother Two Hawk, aka Raymond Watson, right? And it was actually a decent video, but I had some problems with some of the things that was actually said or whatever. Now, not nothing bad, nothing. Everything I guess was consistent with what was going on. It was actually a great interview, especially for a lot of people who really don't study or don't really know the culture or don't really understand how the political aspects of a lot of these things is done. But I had some problems with some of the things, right? Now, one thing I have a problem with is this, right? It's almost 60 million of us, right? Just and let me just put this out there. No, like it's not no shot. This is just my personal opinion about some things that I have been seeing since I have been into the light that we Aborigines and that we did not come from Africa, that we are indigenous to this land, right? Now, I'm just putting it out there. I have a disclaimer. I mean, if I'm not completely in understanding to some of the stuff, I can stand and be corrected. But for what I'm talking about, I pretty much overstand a lot of stuff that was said, right? Now you got to take this into consideration, right? If you was a POW, right, and in his case, the brother Two Hawk, he actually do classes on the American Indian slavery, right? So he would know himself that they was taking people from his region, which is Massachusetts, and taking them to Barbados and Bermuda, right? So if they took you from Barbados or from Massachusetts and took you to Barbados and Bermuda, right, and then brought you back through New York or through Charlotte or through South Carolina or through Louisiana, right, and never brought you back to your original spot, how are you going to connect yourself to your tribe? Because ain't no historical records gonna connect yourself to a tribe if you was classified as a Negro. Okay, so now we're gonna go in on this, right? Let's just check this out, right? It's what I always like to refer to. This is the 1790 census, okay, from 1790 to 1990, right? So now check this out. Let's go in on this. Total population, far to the left, white, black, American Indian, Eskimo, Asian, Pacific Islanders, all right? So we're going to go back to the earliest we can go back to, okay? We're going to go back right here to 1790. Total population is in this column right here, okay? 1790 total population is 3,929,214. Of this number, 3.1 million of these people are Europeans, according to what they're saying. Okay, now we go in the black column. Here go the black column. So from 1757, I mean it's 757 supposedly blacks. Now we know the reason why they classify you as black, because they basically denoted. So most of the people that's claiming to be black are American Indians. Okay, here on this landmass, not the ones who come here and claim that they black, because they don't know that they have a nationality in their own culture. They just probably do it out of ignorance, thinking that that's a cool thing to say, that you black, right? So now out of the 757,000, all of these people are Indians, right? Now check this out. This is the column right here where there's supposed to be American Indians at, right? Now I'm just starting this off, man, because I gotta go here before I do anything. This is the column with American Indian. As you see from 1790, there is no American Indians up here, right? There's none up here, right? Okay, real quick. Let's go here real quick. This is Brown University. This is where the brother claim, or where the brother say that they took his land. And this is actually the article from Brown University, all right? So it's a colonial enslavement of Native American, which we know that we're Aborigines, including those who surrendered to. All right, now I touched on this a lot. All right, we're just gonna read through a little bit of this article, okay? And just have your bullshit readers on, okay? So it's a study by Brown University. Historians find that Native Americans who surrendered during King Philip War, which he are properly a descendant of, who sold into slavery with long-lasting effects. All right, Providence, Rhode Island. It's a study for D. Fisher, associate professor of the historian at Brown University, finds that Native American, including non-combatant who surrendered during King Philip War to avoid enslavement, were enslaved nearly at the same. It's a Native American slavery is a piece of the history of slavery that has been glossed over. Fisher says between 1492 and 1880, between 2 to 5 million Native Americans were enslaved in the Americas. In addition, now here go the bullshit. In addition to 12.5 million African, we know that that number is bullshit now. Now, the more I start studying this, the more I start understanding that they fucking bullshitting us, because when you see this 12 million number right here, out of this 12 million, you don't know exactly how many people was taken from the fucking Caribbean, right? Now we know that this number right here, the 2 to 5 million, some of them stayed here in North America, but a lot of them was sent to North America, to Caribbean. So we don't know exactly how much of this number came back. Now, if you don't know no better, if you was to see these people that was originally Indians that was shipped to the Caribbean and they came back as Negroes, you will automatically assume that they was Africans. Okay, so this number right here is bullshit. Okay, now it's a 2 to 5 million that basically backs all this up. So I'm gonna read a little bit more, okay? It say while Native Americans been forced into slavery and servitude as early as 1636, it was not until King Philip War that natives were enslaved in large numbers. Fisher wrote and studied from 1675 to 1676. Let me take this gun out my mouth. Say war pitted Aborigines, King Philip, known as Metacon, and his allies against the English colonist settlers. During the war, New England colonies routinely shipped Native Americans as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, and Jamaica. Okay, now, like I told you, let me get finished. The Azores, Spanish, Tangier, and North America. Fisher said, while Africans was enslaved, did not know they would be taken. Native Americans understood that they could be sent to the Caribbean plantation and face extremely harsh treatment far from their homes. In communities, according to studies. Fear of fate spurred some Native Americans to pledge to fight to the death. While others surrendered, hoping to avoid being sent overseas. Fisher also studies. It says, why shall we have peace? To be made slaves. Indians surrendered after the King Philip War. Appear in the Journal of Eno History. It's a volume devoted to scholarship or indigenous slavery in the New World. Native American enslavement was documented in colonial correspondence, shipping records, court cases, town records, colonial government orders, and petitions from colonists to the British government. Even contemporary officials' histories of the war all points to have the same thing. Indians were enslaved in mass and either distributed locally or sent overseas. To a variety of destinations. All right, now look. Let me see something. And you know what? Real quick. So I don't want to go on without making sure you guys can hear me properly. Yo, press one if you can hear me, man. Somebody, just somebody, Jolito, Xiaomi, press one if somebody can hear me, please. All right, peace. All right, bet we on. All right. So now look, this is my riff with this, right? Because I have listened to Two Hawk a lot of times. Been watching videos with him for about the last 3 years, right? Now, he also is a friend of me, a friend of mine on Facebook, right? So now, you know what I'm saying? But understand this, right? I notice a lot of these guys that go to these powwows, that go to a lot of, that claim that they Indians, they will throw shots at us. And I'm not saying that this brother threw shots, but this is the way this is the way I take it or whatever. Because me doing my documentary, Culture Freedom. Do you know how many of us do not know what tribe we came from, or how many of us know what tribe we came from, but we cannot trace our records back because of the situation that I'm talking about right here? That we was classified as black since the 1600s, and a lot of people told you was Indian, but you cannot prove it defiantly on paper. You cannot prove it defiantly on paper now. So for you, if what happens to the rest of us can't prove that we Indians? What happens to us? Then we can't connect ourselves to a tribe. You know what I'm saying? We can't connect ourselves to a tribe because a lot of us were shipped from different places and then brought back. And a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? You have to look into look into that aspect of it, right? Now here's another aspect of it, right? Here's another aspect of what we got to consider too. Now this might be a little easier for people who probably can, you know what I'm saying, who probably was affected by Walter Plecker and his racial classifications. But for the most part, if you was enslaved in the 1600s and you lived your whole life as black or as a Negro, and you only heard myths of you being an Indian, then how are you gonna really go back to the historical records if you can't prove it? Okay, you can say, all right, well, boom, my grandmother was a slave in North Carolina. That don't necessarily mean she was part of that particular tribe. She could have been born from New York. She could have been born from Massachusetts. She could have been born from VA. She could be a Powhatan. He could be a fucking a Pequot, Wapanaki. He could be a Seneca. You know what I'm saying? You could be any of these different tribes, man, and you don't even know what tribe you are from because of the so-called slave trade and how they was moving you. Not to mention with the Walter Plecker history and what was done. Now that leaves almost probably 40 million of us who can't really prove exactly where we from. Now, people, you got to take that into consideration because when you got brothers telling you that, now, like I said, everything the brother was saying was correct. Everything he was saying. But you have to, like I said, you have to take in consideration that a lot of us cannot trace our fucking our ancestry back. We just can't. And I noticed that this directly from me doing this damn documentary, right? Let's check it out. Let's read. It said there are many descendants of Native Americans who ran across the census records showing their natives being listed as white, Negro, mulatto. It say history has shown this thought process to be correct. And I found this article listed below that validates the many claims by descendants of this process take place. One merely has to look at the many census records to see the only two options of identification was black and white. In some cases, the word mulatto was used. It say, feel free to read the article. All right, so boom, let's check this out. We're gonna click on this one first. I actually got one pulled up right there, but let me see something. Now look at this shit. Let me see. Just bear with me, y'all. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go ahead and Racial Integrity Act. I bet. Here we go. Let me open this up a little bit. All right, boom. All right, it say Walter Ashby Plecker was unassuming in appearance, a small town doctor who pension for a number of clinching earned him the position of registrar, say of Virginia Bureau of Vital Statistics in 1912, but appearance was indeed deceiving with Plecker at the helm. The Bureau went on an all-out war against amalgamation. Plecker was not the author of the racial integrity law of 1924, Virginia's infamous one-drop statute, which created two racial classification categories. Say pure white and everybody else. But no, I'm saying, but he and Elias and allies such as John Powell of the Anglo-Saxon Club of America. Now remember that the Anglo-Saxon Club, that was the people that they had something to do with all that shit with the genetic, what's the motherfucker name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Darwin and all his cousins and all his cronies that went with it. The Anglo-Saxon Club was all connected to that. They just had different subgroups of the name. It say push hard to enforce the act provision for ancestry register. Say Virginia shine away from the compliance in the area, according to David Smith, the eugenics assault on America. Scenes in red, white, and black. Indeed, passing might have been commonplace among whiter skinned African Americans since at least 1662. It say when the first anti-monogamation laws were passed in Virginia, but even for allegedly pure whites, proof of racial purity, it say might have been difficult to obtain. All right, now let's read some more. It said at least one group of whites who have been proud of their so-called impurity lobby successfully to have the act reversed. The it say descendants of Pocahontas resentful of being lumped in with Negroes. Hold up, let me see. All right. Let me see. Hold on. I just want to make sure I'm gonna write. All right, boom. All right. Mongoloids and American Indians, Malayan, and any mixture thereof. It say of any other non-Caucasian strands. It say twist the arm until the legislature decree that persons with no more than 1/6 Native American ancestry might still be considered white. But Plecker power to grant birth, death, and marriage certificate gave him the unprecedented it say and awesome power over Virginia, who had lot less clout than the Pocahontas contingent. It say with the stroke of the pen, Plecker could write an individual into Negro status and legal and social oblivion. Plecker was only too willing to exercise that power, thus making him a figure of dread to Indians in general, but particularly to the Powhatans remnants in Rockbridge and Amherst County until his retirement and subsequently death in 1946. All right. So let's read some more down here. All right. So it's according to Helen Roundtree of Old Dominion University, professor who had written extensively on Virginia Pocahontas Powhatan tribe. Sorry, it say Plecker believed that had polluted their blood by mingling with the free African American. Now we're gonna touch on this shit too. All right, we're gonna touch on this. We're gonna go into it. All right, it say or free issues in the local vernaculars. It say Plecker thus saw those who claim Indian ancestry as opportunist, seeking what Roundtree called the way station of to whiteness. It say in other words, he saw all Indians as black attending the past. It say Plecker beliefs placed him squarely in a mainstream of American eugenics. See, the eugenics movement. It say which assaulted the rights of poor whites as vigorously as those of racial minorities. Say compare, for example, the case of Carrie Buck, an 18-year-old Caucasian girl from Lynchburg. It say who was believed is now paired erroneously to be feeble-minded in the case that went before the Supreme Court. The state vigorously presumed and won the right to sterilize Buck to prevent her from passing on her imbecility. It say, but desires to make Native Americans simply vanished, whether into the African American population or into thin air. It say how much deeper roots. It say Peter Hawkins, whatever. It say author of Indian Island and Amherst County cites that Bacon's rebellions in 1676 as the first sustained and effort in Virginia to drive the Powhatans from their land. I say, but we cannot forget that the nation's Indian removal policy was formulated by that great defender of liberty, Thomas Jefferson, and carried out by the great defender of the common man, Andrew the fucking devil Jackson. It's saying, indeed, long before Ulysses Grant had developed vanishing into the official peace policy, Virginia had mastered the mechanics. All right. Now check it out. It say in time you will be as we are. Jefferson promised in his 1809 Indian address. You will become one people with us. Your blood will mix with ours. Now look, see, now check this out. Your blood will mix with ours. It say and will spread with ours over the great island. Absorption into the white race and consummation devoutedly is to be wished from the perspective was the Lord Jefferson tossed before the tribes. It say all for who mingled their blood with African American. Now remember, we wasn't even African American. Now I just told you that now check this out. Understand this, right? Understand this. Let's just get a proper understanding from this article. If I just read that they sent 2 to 5 million. Now we know the numbers more than that. The numbers probably was up in the maybe 10 to 15 million range. If they sent 10 to 15 million. Now that's just my estimate. They saying 2.2 5 million, but anytime that they give you the numbers, they don't want to give you the exact numbers of how many Africans they brought, because people will start understanding, like, hold up, so if you had the exact number of the Africans that was brought in, you saying you was taking these people to Barbados and the Caribbean, didn't you say you brought the Africans to the Caribbean as well? So how the fuck would you know who's who? Oh, because the Indians supposed to have a distinctive look. But check this out. Now, like I always like to go into, just for anybody who don't understand how the Autochthonous want to look at this shit. Okay, this is the Naya article from the Smithsonian Institute. Okay, go up to the top. Remember, is a damn source, so don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Okay, all right, it's DNA from 12,000 years skeleton help answer the question who were first Americans. All right, now we're gonna tie all this shit into consideration, right? All right, so now look, but there lies a puzzle. Modern Native American closely resemble people of China, Korea, and Japan, but the oldest Americans do not. Say archaeologist, paleontologist James Shatter. If you want more, check on the archaeologist James Chatter. It's a small number of early American specimens discovered so far have smaller and shorter faces, longer and narrow skulls, later than Native Americans, more closely resembling modern people of Africa, Australia, South Pacific Islands. So now, if the people that was in Massachusetts resemble Africans and South Pacific Islanders, and they were sent to Barbados, how the fuck you know who? So that's how you know that they fucking lying about them bringing in Africans to the Caribbean, like they say. Also, I have another point of view. Let me make sure. Hold up. Let me see where I'm at. This is my other point of research. All right. Now this is just some shit a brother put together, and he's saying that the Negroes, aka Blackamoors, which I can show you proof that they was calling us Blackamoors, no problem. Check this out. All right, so the purpose of this writing is to help provide the readers with some of the most important secret histories directly related to Black people in America, to pertain directly to the subject and the discussion of reparations and restoration. Okay, the forbidden ideal in America is what? It is never to allow our Black nation, Black people, to know that they're indigenous to the land. Now, what I just showed you, that they basically telling you that you're African American if you're a dark Indian, but they telling you that the motherfucking Indians looked like Africans. Okay, so now check this out. This is what I don't like. This is what I don't like. These what they telling you the Indians look like. You see this bitch right here putting her middle finger up saying fuck Columbus. Now we're gonna read what Columbus said the Indians look like, because they damn sure wasn't part of no damn Indians. Okay, now check this out. Let's keep it moving, man. Now it says, yes, we were and are an indigenous nation. This is the history we have not known. This writing is designed to be a study tool and spark an interest in further scholarly studies in our indigenous past and its connection to the reparation and restoration movement. It say this record of our past, check it out. It say America are ancient and very real. It say they are prior to any settlement of Europeans who verified this in their records. Now check this out. Now I say Negroes as the original Indians, proof in the Jesuit letter. This is what trying to get at Garfield, but Garfield's so fucking stupid to where he's so stupid and so brainwashed to where any information you put out there, he's going to challenge it because he's stupid. Now I just told you this, right? Now let's just take an educational look at this, right? Here we got Brown University right here, right? Telling you that they sent 2 to 5 million so-called Indians to the Caribbean, right? Now they telling you additional 12.5 million was African. We got Smithsonian Institute telling you that the first Americans resemble Africans, okay? We also know that when they sent you to the Caribbean, they brought you back. Now check this out. Remember this article, because this basically clarifies my point of everything I'm saying. During the war, New England colonies routinely shipped Native Americans as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, and Azores. Now, if they telling you that the so-called Indians resemble Africans, then how the fuck you know who the 12 million African slaves were? That's how you know that they are lying about how many people that they brought to the Caribbean. Because they would tell you, oh, well, they brought the majority of these people to the Caribbean. Why would you bring the majority of the people to the Caribbean? The Caribbean is smaller as opposed to North America. You claim you brought 380,000 people here. It doesn't make sense when you really start doing the research. That's how I know out of this number is a fucking lie. That's how I know that most of the people was indigenous to this land. It was probably a very small percentage of so-called African, or remember they weren't Africans, or whatever the people that was brought from the continents that came here. The majority of this 12.5 million that they claim, and if the number is even real, was already indigenous people who was here. Do you understand that? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Now let's go back here. Let's go. I'm gonna tie all this shit in together, man. And people just wake up, all right? They say the book African and Native Americans, Jack Forbes, paints a very different picture. Now remember, The Smithsonian Institute telling you that the first Americans resemble Africans in Australian South Pacific Islands. All right, so that you cannot tell me if them was the original people here, what happened to them? Where they go? What happened to? Oh, they enslaved us here, and then they started, according to what Jefferson said, amalgamating us by mixing in with us. He just told you that in the fucking in that article. I'm going to go back to that, so just bear with me, all right? And like I said, the point of this is the real Indian. Please stand the fuck up, all right? Because when you look on these tribes, man, the only reason why you see so many of these people. These people on these tribes or whatever, and they telling you that they Indian is because the real Indians is in the fucking ghetto. Right here, look. See this number right here? I had the number jump. 750,000. You don't see no Indians here, but they telling you that they was enslaving you and bringing you back. So if you was brought back as a Negro, what class where would you be? You would be over here. You would be over here with the black people. That's the reason why you don't see no Indians, because they declassify you when they brought you back as a Negro. Okay? And this is what people is not understanding. The shit is fucking simple. It's simple. This is why you see it say not available. 1790. If they telling you that they was the brother Two Hawk tell you that they was enslaving people in Massachusetts. So where are they at on the census? Because I can go to Massachusetts and show you that there's no Indian. There's no. Let's go ahead. Just in case if you don't want to you don't believe me. Let's go. Let's go to Massachusetts real quick. Let's go to Massachusetts, y'all. Hold up. I passed it. Let's go to Massachusetts. And I'm going to show you yourself. I'm going to show you myself. Check this out. Massachusetts should be coming up. All right, bet. Here we go. Massachusetts. Now check this shit out. Check this out. Now look, listen to this, y'all. Now, this is only for people who got sense, okay? Let's go back to this article real quick. Brown University. What tribes are they telling you that they enslaved? It's a study of it say finds that Native American, including non-combatants who surrendered during King Philip War. Where King Philip War at? In fucking Massachusetts. To avoid enslavement, were enslaved at nearly the same. Native American slavery is a piece of history. And they telling you that the people are, when you come down here, King Philip War, which was the Pequots, the Nassagarret, and some of the Wapanaki, all right? They tell you that they was enslaving them, right? But check this out. When you go to the census, where are they at? Where there's no Indians, period, on the fucking census from 1790 to 1850. So where they at? Then right here, you got 12, 19, 15, 3, 51. So where they at? They right fucking here. Here they go right here, classified as black. Okay? Classified as black. This brother Two Hawk was classified as black as well. You understand? He had to go back and claim his nationality. Now, like I said, the brother gave a flawless presentation on the brother on African American Indigenous One channel. Go back and check the interview out if you haven't seen it. But all I'm saying is this. It's too many people who will basically take shots at you and say that you don't have no culture because we was enslaved here, man. We was enslaved and moved around. If they enslaved you and took you from Massachusetts, just like they did here, you don't see no Indians here. So where's the Indians that they enslaved? If they was allowing them to keep their nationality, why is it only from 1870 to fucking 1930, 43 Indians on the motherfucking list right here? Why? Why do you only see 43 people that's classified? This is American Indian. You see this? You got total population, white, black, American Indian. You only got 12, 19, 15, 3, 51. Where's all the Indians that they took out of here? They telling you that they was moving millions of them out of here. Where they at? They right here. They classified as fucking black. That's where they at. So a lot of them brothers that's in Boston, a lot of them brothers that's in Rhode Island, a lot of them brothers in New York are descendants of the Wapanaki, Nassagarret, the Mohegans, and all of them tribes that was already in, because they already told you that the Shinnecock and a lot of them tribes was already connected. They was part and procel to a lot of the tribes that was in the Pequot, the Wapanaki, and the Nassau. Now, I just proved to y'all, if you don't fucking understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. You go back and look and see what was King Philip War and where was it at. King Philip War was in Massachusetts. What is the census done? The census is in Massachusetts. This is Massachusetts, okay? Now, people going to town, oh, well, the census is wrong. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because if you was classified as property, you would be on this motherfucking census. They wasn't allowing you to claim that you was Indians, okay? Now, check this out. Now, let's go back to here, all right? All right, now we came from here. I showed you that they moved, that they telling you that they sent 2 to 5 million so-called Aborigines to Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, Azores, Spain, Tanzania, and North America. All right. Now, in North Africa, okay. Now, hold up, North Africa. So you telling me that there's indigenous people in Africa right now? Now, like I said, I can prove to you that this number is bullshit. Watch this. Let's read on. Now check this out. Forbes going to try to make a distinction. Anytime you hear the word Negro, he's automatically going to make you think that that's an African. When the Autochthonous one already proved to you, we can go back. Check it out. We got to do it. You're going to have to do this, man. This is a lesson. This is a history lesson, all right? Let's see something. Here we go. We got to go here. We got to go to the experts. We got to go to the experts. Also, look, I'm going to bring it all out on this one. I'm bringing it all out on this one. I'm bringing it all out. Bringing it all out, all right? I'm going to bring it all out on this one, y'all. I'm bringing it all out. Fuck it. Now check this out. Been going this kind of late as of lately. You know, I touched on it in a couple of my earlier videos or whatever. It's this one right here. It's page 5. All right. Now look, check this out. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's read a little bit of this. It say the physical characteristics. All right. It say it is a dodge among travelers. It say that he who have seen one tribe of Indians have seen them all. It say so much do the individual of this race resemble each other, notwithstanding their immersion, geographical distribution, and these differences of climate, which embrace the extremes of hot and cold. The half cloud Fujian is a shrinking from his dirty winter. It say have the same characteristics and ligaments through in an exaggerated degree as the Indians of the tropical plain. And say, and these also resemble the tribes which inhabit the regions of the Rocky Mountain. It say those of Great Valley of Mississippi, and those again which skirt the Eskimaks, I don't know, of the north. It say all possess a long, lank black hair. It say the brown or cinnamon color. The brown or cinnamon color. Let's take a look at what is he talking about. What did they tell you the Americans look like? What did Verrazano say the Americans look like? Color of rustic, right? Would this be, listen, none of us is black. So when they try to tell you, oh, the brown and the black, you are the motherfucking brown people. The only reason you black is somebody lied to you and classify you as that, so they could denote you from your original aspect of who you was. This could be cinnamon. This is brown. See this? These are the color of copper. This is cinnamon. This is the reason why they called you the American originally applied to the Aborigines or copper color races. This is cinnamon right here, right? This is brown right here. You see this? All this a brown, rustic. These are the terms that they use your ass. All right. So where was we at? Let's go back a little bit more. We're gonna go all the way in on this. Okay. This is gonna be a heavyweight jam. They say all possess the color of brown and the color and cinnamon. It say heavy brow, dull sleepy eyes, and full compressed lips. Full compressed lips. Okay. It say and selenium. It say but these traits, moreover, are equally common to the savage and civilized nations. It say whether, let's keep it moving. It say whether the inhabitants of the margins of the rivers and feed on fish. What do black people eat every Friday and put in cornmeal? Fish. It say or rove the forest and the substance on the spoil of the chase. Or spoil of the chase. It say it cannot be questioned that the physical the physical diversities do occur equally singular. It say an inapplicable. It say as seen in different shades of color. It say varying from the fair tint to the complexion of almost black. Okay. It say and to I'm sorry. It say, and this too under circumstances in which climate could have little to no influence. So also the reference to the statue and the differential of remarkable in the entire. Moreover, the geographical proximity to each other. These facts, however, are the more exceptional into the general rule and do not alter the physiognomy, the peculiar physiognomy of the Indian, which have been undivinely the characteristic of the Negro. Okay, now I don't need to go nowhere, but check this out. We're going to keep it going so I can form this perfect perspective for the idiots and for the people who don't understand and where we're going with this, because every time you see the word Negro, they're going to automatically make you think that that was an African. Well, no. The Smithsonian Institute told you that the motherfucking Indians look like African. This is the reason why this picture right here exists. This is the reason why this picture right here exists. But guess what? We're going to go further in on this, okay? We're going to go further in on this, okay? Now check this out. This is a beautiful article. I suggest people download this because I don't know how long it's going to be available. The monthly record of anthropology of science. All right. Now check this out. Negro skeleton remains in Indian sites. Now they wasn't Indian sites, they was Negro sites. But check this shit out, right? All right. It says in the West Indies. It say a recent paper. Let me open this up some more. Gotta keep going in on this, man, because people don't understand. The recent paper in of Braxton, Trevor, and Julian. This shit should be on. I should be charging for this shit, man. But guess what? I love my people, so I'm not charging for nothing. This shit is for y'all. I'm putting this right in your lap. This is for you. Here you go. It say implies that an undeformed Negro physical inhabited the Virginia island in a pre-Columbian type. Let's read it again. The recent paper in the Journal of Brixton, Trevor, and Julian in 1938, they're telling you, implies that an undeformed Negro physical type inhabit the Virgin Islands in pre-Columbian time. Not only the implications contrary to the previously accepted findings by the Antil area and will be shown later, but it also fails to give adequate consideration to the possibility that these skeleton remains represent intrusive Negro burials. The mere presence of the skeletons in the sand or shell mines of the Indians original lacking carefully stratigraphical records is not the certain evidence of primarily associated with the accompanying artifacts. Moreover, I venture to say that a few physical anthropologists familiar with the American Indian skulls would mistake those illustrations by Brixton, Trevor, and Julian. Indeed, more physical anthropologists would probably be less conservative and say Negro instead of Negroid. It supports of the opinion that these authors are describing Negroes wish to present a similar case from Barbados and British West Indies. From the correspondence with Mr. Shellstone, of Bridgetown, Barbados, it appears that in August 1933, he commended to excavate a sandy ridge about 50 yards from high water marks of the shore of Chancey Lane on the southern coast of the island. This ridge proved to be a kitchen midden containing many objects of Arawak workmanship. Among other things encountered in the site was a skeleton laying on his left side, approximately 20 inches under the surface. Mr. Silverstone believed to be that of an Arawak Indian. Now, what did we tell you that the Arawaks was? Negroes. But check this out. We touched on this before. I know. I'm going to connect all this shit together, and I'm going to explain to you. Like, I don't know everything, but I'm telling you the way I'm handling my shit. Okay. So, I mean, I'm going to go in, like I said, you got my email me on this, but I'm just going to form a perspective because a lot of these brothers, man, who can tie themselves back to their tribe will tell you, well, oh, I know my tribe and I can connect. Most of us can't because they done fucking spit most of us out of here and classify us as blacks, which I just showed you even in Massachusetts. Okay, now check this out. Let's keep it moving. All right, it say Mr. Silverstone believed that the skeleton to be that of an Arawak Indian. In 1937, presented it as such. It say to the U.S. National Museum. Upon reconstruction of the skull. Now, how many times they gonna reconstruct the skull for you to understand that they Negro? Upon reconstruction of the skull from many fragments in which it was received in Washington, I just felt like calling it a Negro for reasons that will appear from the following description. It say two views of the Barbados skeleton skulls. It say are shown in plate D. That's when you go down. It say comparison with the two skulls shown in the paper of Brexton and Trevor and Julian indicate that the individual and sex difference are no more than would be expected. The range of variations in a single race. Certainly, however, such Negro features are alveolar granatium, broad nose, and low orbit or more pronounced in the case of the violent. Now, check this out, y'all. Check this out. What did he say? What did he say? How did he say the lips look? He said full compressed lips. Okay, now he gives you in so many different, he tells you the complexion is that of cinnamon or brown. He tells you that you can find these colors from, he said from fair tint, meaning like light brown skin, to black. Okay, he's also telling you that the physiognomy of the Indian is that of the Negro. Now we can go back and read this, and now you can get a proper understanding where I'm going with this. Okay, now check it out. It says, now we already substantiated that the Indians here looked like Africans. So when people try to tell you, oh, the Africans, no, we don't even know if they was African slaves, because I'm assuming that it was already black people in the Caribbean, according to the information I have studied, as well as the people that they brought from here that they added on to there. This is the reason why they trying to say, so what they was doing with this, every time that they call you a Negro, they're trying to tell you that you're African. When we know that that's not true now. We know that they was enslaving the so-called Aborigines here. Now, I just showed you, if they was enslaving them, they was not allowing you to claim that you was an Indian in so many different ways. It was through them classifying you, making you assimilate into their society, because as long as you knew you was an Indian, you was going to want land, and you was going to fight for your land. So therefore, they had to fucking declassify you. And then also, like I said, in the 1900s, after the Emancipation Proclamation, this will prove everything of what I'm saying, okay? This is not a theory. This shit is facts, okay? Let's read. This story is nothing but a giant fiction, a novel made up by a white historian to deceive the masses about the original history of the people of America. Jack Forbes uses the letter of the Jesuit missionary to prove that Negroes or blackamoors were the first Americans, okay? So, like I tell you, when people try to use this term right here, yo, you cannot let anybody use this term Aboriginal. You damn sure can't let these motherfuckers use it. You damn sure can't let some of these people use it. These people not Aboriginals. I mean, now some of them are, but for the most part, a lot of them are not. We know, understand this, bro. I'm a light-skinned brother myself. You know what I'm saying? My father is very dark skin. Mother, fair tint complexion or whatever. I got a dark skinned brother or whatever, and my other brother is light brown. So check this out. So I understand that we know that some of us, what was done to us here in this country, because my great grandmother was raped by a white man. She was 14 years old in the South. Okay, so that's why my mother came out. His father was kind of, her father was light and her mother was very dark. All right, so check this out. So we can't automatically assume, but we damn sure can say that these motherfuckers are not. We could say she's not an Aboriginal. We could say he's not, or we could say that the rest of these people that they showing you, these are not Aboriginals right here, because they are not the first inhabitants. To be an Aboriginal, you have to look like what this Samuel Mortensen said. The physiognomy of the Indian is that of the Negro. Now let's read what the fuck is a Negro. Now they're gonna tell you something different here, but we're gonna look on to this, right? It says a member of a group of people. Now say originally native to Africa, which we just proved that that's bullshit. Because the only reason, now I'm gonna come back and show you something else. All right, check this out though. We know why they saying Africa, because we know that the Portuguese took people from Brazil back to Africa. We can prove this shit. Okay, it's a relating to black people. Okay, now let's go back where we was at right here. All right, let's go back right here. It say, all right, it say Negroes or black Moors were the first Americans, and in fact were the first or olive tone people found in the Western Hemisphere. Commenting from Jesuit letters on the appearance of the Native Americans, Forbes states. It say now we read this right here, but check it out. It say, for example, in 1519, he said in 1519, it was said of the Brazilians, non-Sony, it say Nairi, I can't, some of this is in Spanish, I cannot pronounce it, but we're going to read it. It say, that is right here. This is like a Spanish or I guess Portuguese language. It say, that is, they are not black or white, but the color of olive. It say, but some writers remark that the Brazilian canoemen he saw so black. Now remember, we automatically assume black because of the color, but remember, check this out. We say Wesley Snipes black, right? Look how dark this is. People this color, people this color, people color, they all calling us black. Okay, so don't automatically see that word has been how you say that shit has been programmed into our subconscious. So when they call you brown, you will assume that a brown person is one of these motherfuckers right here. Is one of these people, these Mexican looking people. Oh, the brown and like what's the name? Alliance. No. You the only brown people. You the only brown people. These people are not Aborigines. These are what the Smithsonian Institute will tell you. Modern Native American closely resemble people, China, Korea, and Japan. Look at this motherfucker right here. He looked like a Chinese. He looked like a Chinese. He just looked like a Chinese that's outside his element, okay? Or Japan or Korean. But it say all right, it say right here. It say all right. It say Native more closely resembling modern people of Africa, Australia, and South Pacific. This is the reason why you get this picture right here. This is the reason why you get numerous pictures. Check this out. Matter of fact, no, well, hold up. Let's go on. This is the reason why you get numerous pictures. Look. Do any of these motherfuckers look like any of the people that they showing you? Any of them. Any of them. Let's keep it going. Any of them. Any of them. Now, this is right here the picture of what, this is the St. Mary of the Goodwin. Here go the people that Columbus took back. Now, this is actually, shout out to the brother who made this Aboriginal legend, who made this meme right here. But look what he's saying to me. Look. say African and Native Americans, Jack D. Forbes, he shows in his book so many so-called Native American Indians were sold into slavery in Africa and Europe. This is the opposite direction in which we was taught the slave trade went. It say these Native American Indians were classified as Negroes and black in the slave book of Seville, Spain. It say otherwhere on page 29, it say slaves from Terra Nova show up in the slave market on Seville and Valencia very soon after 1500. For example, Valencia during the period of to 1516, we find, now they're going to tell you all the different names, all right? It say they were all classified as Negro. Now, what did we just say? What did the definition of what they said a Negro was? A black person, a member of a dark-skinned group of people. Now, they's telling you that they were shipping people from here to Africa. Now, check this out. Let's go back to some more, man. Let's read some more of this. Read some more, because people is idiot. People don't get it. They just don't get it. They don't get it. They won't get it. They won't get it. They don't get it. They say the author continues his comment on the appearance of the so-called natives in North America from his Jesuit letters. In 1524, Carolina, coastal people were said to be dark, not much the color like the Ethiopian. Now, we know that, you know, I like to show y'all this, man. Check this out. Color did Verrazano said the people in the Carolinas look like? This is right here, the Carolinas, Giovanni Verrazano. I ain't gotta read everything. I'm gonna go right into this article right here. All right. They say, all right, boom, boom, boom. They go together. All right. They say the people are of a color rustic, not much unlike the Saracens. Okay? Now, you already know what the fuck a Saracen is. A Saracen is a Moor. A Moor is another complexion of dark-skinned person. What color is rustic? Rustic is this damn color right here. Rustic is this color. These colors are rustic. Okay, now, just in case if you like, oh, man, well, Thompson, you be making shit up. Thompson is when you be making shit up. You fabricated the truth. You for pseudo. Yeah, all right. Look at color rustic. Look at the color rustic. You see these colors? Look at the colors. Look at the colors. Look at the colors. What do we find them consistent with? Okay. With copper color, okay? Let's go back, man. Well, actually, that's no. Let's go here. Let's go back here. All right. So it say the people of Carolina were to be dark color, not much unlike the Ethiopian, but he said not much like the Saracens or rustic. You know, we know the see when you throw that word Saracen, you already know that they was black, because what do they call Morgan Freeman and Robin Hood? Saracens. Yeah, he calls them a fucking Saracen. Okay, now check this out. They say the term Negro or Indio was interchangeably to describe the natives in the journal of missionaries who could not have possibly been referring to Africans. Now check this out. It says from 1549 through 1560, the letter of the Jesuit missionary in Brazil, usually addressed to colleagues in Portugal and Spain, frequently referred to the Americans as Negro. It say in April 15, all right, they tell you right here. They say Miguel says, hold up, let me see. No, my bad. Let me read this. It say in April of 1549, Miguel de Norbraga, they say the leader of the Jesuit, addressed a letter from Bahia to Simeão Rodrigues in Lisbon, in which he referred to the Portuguese in Brazil and living in sin because they are having many Negroes. It say a lot of children by the said black women. Thus, the Jesuit father called the American women living in Portuguese men Negras. It's a term which, according to Light, it say could not have been denoted from the people from Africa because in 1549 there was few or no African women in Baja. It say nonetheless, Narbarga, it say uses the word India. It's in Indio. It say when Africans were referred in the Jesuit letter, they are always called Negro de Ghana, blacks from Ghana, I mean Guinea. It say to distinguish them from Negro de Terra, blacks on the land of America. Now y'all check this shit out right here, man. It says, hold up, let me show you. Look, he even touched right here. It says the history, because some of this shit is in Spanish right here. Let me see. All right, I'll read some more of it. It said, very intimate letter. Like I said, I touched on this shit plenty of times. I got this article in a lot of my works or whatever, but just to connect everything together. It said, very interesting letter is one prepared by dos, meaning whatever, some Spanish shit. It say by young Americans studying in school or whatever. It's saying, although probably edited by the Jesuits, this may represent the first letter written by Americans in Europe language from Brazil. It is they refer to the American leader El Grillo, it say as a Negro, and the two other natives as Negro. We find an example, El Grillo, who is a Negro, very well known and feared amongst them, and that El Grillo East Negro, say El Guru was at the same time an India pagan. What did they say? What did the Doom Dividers say they was trying to do? Conquer the Saracens and the pagans. Okay? Say India was a pagan and a friend of the Portuguese. In August 1552, Nabraga wrote of Baja. It said Baja, South America, Lisbon, Portugal, referring to the native people as Negroes. It say in 1554, Antonio Blasquez from Porto Socorro wrote to the Jesuit in Cambra, whatever. All right, it say, hold up. It say it say that is he was preaching to the Americans called Negroes. He Negroes and lost mal, whatever the Lataria, it says pupils. It say the editor notes that the Negroes and Negras met Indios India. All right, check this out. The history as recorded by their own white hands bear witness to the black people are the indigenous and first Americans stemming from the intercourse of Vespucci and Columbus with indigenous black and South with Central America, the Amaru. It say the use above are malacos to describe the Negroes, which stem back to the Quora or Algonquin Arabic word Memlek. It say also shows the indigenous, we say Moorish presence in America. It say the history span from the first encounter of the Europeans with our ancestors to establish the United States of America and the Revolutionary War period. All right. So now look, I showed you numerous different articles that it was already black people here. So why the fuck is these people right here why is these people being recognized as Indian? And every time you tell them that you're an Indian, they say you're a fucking African. Or what did I read right here? I'm gonna go back to this. All right, it says, now I'm jumping all over the place for a reason though. You'll get it. It say, as for those who mingled their blood with the African Americans. What African Americans? Because original Americans looked like Africans. So what do you mean? I just showed you West Indies. I just showed you Samuel Mortensen. I just showed you Vespucci. I just showed you Columbus. I just showed you all these different explorers and different researchers who said that it was Negroes here already. The Smithsonian Institute told you that the first Americans, which will be the only Aborigines are the people who resemble a modern people of Africa, Australia, and South Pacific. Okay, this led speculation that the first Americans and Native American, I say first American because they separating the first American from Native American. But do you know something? Do you know what the first Americans are always classified as? Hmm? Do you know what the first Americans are always classified as? Africans. So anytime you see the dark Indian, he is always a motherfucking African. But guess what? Your boy the Intentions one then just proved this in many different ways that they was classifying so-called Indian slaves as blacks. As blacks. Check this out. We're gonna go right back here again. Go right back here. Native American slavery is a piece of history that have been glossed over. They say Fisher says between 1492 and 1880, between 2 to 5 million. Now that's 5 million. They say Native Americans were enslaved in America. They say in addition, now they have to throw this number out there to confuse you. 12.5 million African slaves. They didn't even bring. I'm starting to think, bro. I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, if they only brought 380,000 so-called Africans here to North America, which I'm starting to think that we don't even know was they Africans. We can't even prove that they was African because they're going to tell you that they brought these people through the Caribbean. So if it was already, look, this article right here shows you was already Negroes in the Caribbean, right? They already tell you. And this article right here shows you that Columbus that the people who was in the Caribbeans already, that they took back to fucking Spain and they pops up as Negro de Terra. This article right here is telling you that they're shipping, they say during the war, New England, okay, New England colonies routinely shipped Native Americans as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, and Jamaica, and the Azores in Spain, and Tanzania in Africa, okay? Now, it says, while Africans who were enslaved did not know where they would be taken, Native Americans understood. That's bullshit. That's all bullshit, okay? Because understand this, you have to start looking at what time. During 1675, the English already had took over the island. The English already took over the island of Espanol at that point in time. So you telling me that they was going to Africa? No. They was already shipping. See, what they was doing was this. The English would come here, and because they wanted the land, they was warring with the tribes, and they would send you to Europe, they would send you to the Caribbean, okay? They wasn't going to Africa bringing no Africans here. The English, yo, bro, I can prove this. I can easily prove that the English was not going to Africa bringing Africans here because the English was warring with the Spanish, Portuguese, and French. Now, I showed you in another article that the NASCAT that was in Louisiana that took them to the Caribbean. What colony did the French own in the Caribbean? Oh, let me guess. Oh, Haiti. So you telling me that the people from Louisiana did go to motherfucking Haiti? Yo, man, like I said, yo, my research is there. It's there. I got a wonderful understanding of this shit. So don't come at me with the bullshit. And I basically made this video because what I see is this. A lot of us ain't going to be able to claim or go back and find out who we were. So what happened to the Negroes who can't find out who they are? What happened to them? What's going to happen to them? They're going to remain classified as African Americans? They're gonna remain classified as African American. Well, we can't help the people who think they're African American because a lot of us don't fucking know. You see how disingenuous a lot of motherfuckers who can, because you can track yourself back to your so-called Aborigine culture or whatever, but we can't. This is the reason why you see these motherfuckers right here claiming to be Indians. Look. Modern Native Americans. It say modern day Native Americans. They telling you modern day Native Americans, okay? But what? But guess what? They telling you, all these people telling you. Walter Plecker, what did he just do? We're going to read back into some more of that. We got all these people telling you what the Aborigines here looked at like. New Amsterdam, it's the New York, American Study and Engraving. Hold on, let me see something. These are what the people looked at like that was in motherfucking New Amsterdam, man. Look. See the brother hair? This, and he would be, oh, that's an African. That's not an Indian, that's an African. Because they done lied to us, man. And then you got a lot of these people in these tribes that be lying to us as well. Okay? Look. See this? See this? Virginia. Okay? This is Virginia. This is Virginia. See, they got noticeably afros. Where are these people at now? Okay? Now, here we go again. The Negro type is seen in most ancient Mexican culture. The Negro figure frequently in most remote tradition of some American Pablo. It is to this race doubly belong the most ancient skeleton from the red American race. Why the distinctive from the red American race? Because the red American race are modern Native American. They gave them your title because it was only, let's go to the census real quick. Let's see how many of them was. Let's go ahead. Since they put them motherfuckers on the reservation, they know exactly how many of them it was. Let's go down here and take a look. Fuck all that kumbaya. I don't want to be on no reservation with a bunch of fucking mongoloids or fake ass. Nah, I'm not, because you niggas is not bowing down and telling who the real fucking Aborigine is. So if you gonna keep on lying and holding up this lie along with everybody else, then why would I fuck with you? Now look, check this out. American Indians, right? Now check this out. This is American Indians right here. This is 1990. Now check this out. Look, and this is the funny shit, right? This is 1830. Trail of Tears was 1838. You still don't see no Indians being classified. You still don't see. Now look, let's go to Oklahoma real quick, because I'm going to prove that to you too. You think they ain't count these motherfuckers when they went down there? Watch this. Watch this. Right here. Boom. Let's go to Oklahoma. Let's look around like 1870 to see whether or not they classify these people as Indian. Boom. Let's check this out. Here we go. American Indians. We got total population, white, black, American Indians. Now let's go down to shit. Look. Let me see. Hold up. All right, so the head total population, white, black, American Indian. So American Indians is in your fourth column, right? Now it's funny, right? It's so funny. At 1910, there's only 205 so-called American Indians up there. In 1920, there's only 271 so-called Indians up there, right? And it's 1800 by the time you get to 1930, and so on, right? So by the time we speed up to now this is basically where they put them out on the reservation. But now check this out. So it was more blacks in Oklahoma at that time in 1950. Well, in 1910, it was more blacks in Oklahoma than it was so-called Indians. And then so basically you put all these people on reservations and you didn't enumerate them in the census. They fucking lying, yo. They lying. And this is why I use the census, because the census will at least give you an idea of what they was doing and give you an understanding of the people who was already here, man. Telling you. Now, where the people at? The Trail of Tears in 1838. Why don't you see none of these people on the fucking census? They moved them people there and wasn't counting them? You think they do no enumeration process in Oklahoma? Fuck out of here, man. If they was paying them and giving them land and everything, they had to count them. Let me see. again. Remember, the fourth column is Indians. The third is, this column is Indians. This column is Negroes or Black. This column is European. All right. So now check it out. You don't. If the Trellickers was in 1838, why are they not? Why don't you see no Indians on the census? Why don't you see no Indians on the census? Why? Why? Why don't you see no Indians on the census? I just want to know. I'm just curious my motherfucking self. Even when we went to Massachusetts, and they clearly told you that King Metacon, that was all in New England. So that the Nassagarett, the Pequot, the Wapanaki, why none of these people on the fucking census? Because they was all classified as Black. That's why. That's why. Okay, right here. You don't see none. 18. Where we at? Now all of a sudden, if you don't see none on the census, but in 1860, you see 44,000. You know why? Because a large majority of these people started saying I'm Indian. That's the reason why in 18, that's the reason why you don't no longer see them. Now check it out. You see how the number jumped? Look how the number jumped up. See how the number jumped up? And even to today, right? Look, they're saying right now in 1990, there's almost 2 million so-called American Indians. Now today it's like 5 million. Look how many of us it was, or whatever. This is 1990, which this is bullshit. It's more like almost 80 million of us in this continent, probably more than that. I'm just showing you that even in Massachusetts, where they was clearly saying that they were shipping people from Massachusetts to the Caribbean, that you don't see none of these people came back as Indians. So how many people that is really Indians that don't know, that can't classify themselves? So the ones who can classify themselves or can go back and check their ancestry, they are a small percentage of us, man. Even though your family told you, yeah, we Indians and this, that, and the third, it's only a small percentage of us who really can go back and really trace our ancestry back. Yeah, you can trace your ancestry back to a land. Okay, you might trace your ancestry back to Carolina, but that don't mean that you was ordered, that you a Carolina Indian, because you might have been from New York, you might have been from Louisiana, you might have been from fucking Massachusetts. But now you're in Carolina, and just because you living on that land, now you got to classify yourself as one of the tribes that was there. Come on, that shit don't make no sense. And then, like I said, a lot of this stuff is not making sense, man, because how people sit there and tell you, oh, well, I know who my family was. I was able to trace my family. Yeah, if you were still in that same land, it's a little bit easier for the people that was in Massachusetts, because you see that a lot of them bowed down, and a lot of them was able to work among them, but they had to assimilate into the European society. So they was Indians. A lot of this stuff came upon word of mouth. Like I said, I just showed you the census. I just showed you the census. Let's go back to Massachusetts one more time. Let's go back to Massachusetts. Since people think I'm fucking crazy, check this shit out. Hold up. Let's go back to Massachusetts. I better see some Indians up there. You ain't see none. Look. Even in New Jersey, where the Lenni Lenape tribes was at. Look. Look, 1810. You don't see no Indians up there. And this is the earliest that they did a census, and this is 1810. And you still don't see no motherfucking Indian. You don't start saying Indians on the census to fucking 1960. This is, hold up. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me see something. My bad, y'all. This is not, let me see something. This is New Jersey, the whole New Jersey. Let me see something. I think at the bottom, they got the total. Nah, you know what? Anyways, let me see something real quick. You know what, people? Give me 1 second. I think that's a package for me. Give me 1 second. Hold tight. right, so I'm back. All right. You know what? Let me see something. Let me go back out real quick of this one. Because there's two 1790 censuses. One, total population. Let me see something. Oh, you know what? I'm bugging. My bad. Let me go right back here real quick. Make sure everybody's still good. Press 1 if y'all can hear me. Everybody's still good. I'm back. All right. Press 1 if y'all still can hear me. Peace to everybody in the chat room. Appreciate y'all. I hope y'all understand what the hell I'm telling y'all. It's going to be nearly impossible for almost 80 million of us to claim that we Indians. We know we Indians, but we don't know what tribe we from. Unless we be adopted by a tribe like the brother, what's the name said, what's the joke that everybody don't like? The one NAIIP. He said we can be adopted into a tribe or whatever. But for the most part, like I said, man, I don't want to be on the tribe with none of these people. I'm not going to front. No, I'm not going to say all these people or whatever, but damn sure with none of these people, because none of these people are Aborigines. None of them. See how they lie? Look. You see how they lie and they tell you that this is what an Indian look like? I just ran through, showed you numerous resources that tell you that it was Negroes here, not no people that look like that. Numerous different articles that's showing you that. Numerous. Even the images of what the people here look like telling you that they was Negro. Why would this man say America was a Negro continent? Why would he go through his trouble to say that? If the Negroes, what they say the Negro look like? A member of dark-skinned group people, black people, okay? So we know people is black, but we know that this motherfucker right here is the modern day Native Americans, okay? Modern day. You are this right here. You are this. This is what you are. The ones that they claiming as Africans, or like when we go back to the Walter Plecker article, this is what they say you are. Aboriginals, 1660, first, earliest, existing from the beginning. You have to be right here, in which James Chatter told you. It says the first Americans resembling modern people of Africa, Australia, and South Pacific Island. Why are they saying that? Oh, because Verrazano said the people here like rusty. Because Samuel Morrison said that the people here had a complexion almost brown, almost black. They use the term cinnamon, brown or cinnamon. What is brown cinnamon? What is the definition of the word American? Originally applied to the copper color. You got red copper, reddish brown copper, and brown copper. Okay? Okay? What did fucking Columbus say? Let's go. What did Columbus say? Columbus said that the people here was dark. They called them Negroes when they took them back to Europe. Okay, so let's stop the fucking bullshit, man. That's the reason why I can't get with all this kumbaya. And I'm not sometimes say nothing to the brothers and sisters who are connected to any of these tribes that are mingling with them. But my people are in these cities. My people, the ones getting shot down. My people can't really connect themselves to a lot of these tribes. That's why you see sprinkles of different ethnicities claiming to be Indian, when the real Indians are classified as African Americans. When the overall majority of Indians are classified as African Americans. Okay? The overall majority. And how do we know this? Because even when we go, even when we go here, excuse me, y'all, my fucking throat is hoarse. And think of it like this, right? We know it was Indians that was taken in North Carolina, right? But you don't see none of these people in North Carolina neither. You don't see no Indians in North. Yo, man, like I said, man, look, if you can't understand through this census, man, don't let nobody sit there and tell you, oh no, the census is no. It's just that you're not understanding. You're not properly understanding. Oh, let me go back up. Even Mississippi, you don't see no Indians. But they didn't start doing the enumeration process in Mississippi until 1810. So now look, and this is NASCAT. Look, this is NASCAT area. This is NASCAT area. Look, you don't see no Indians up here. Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? But you see blacks. So where's the Indians at? Where's the NASCAT Indians? Oh, they killed them. Yeah, they killed your ass on paper. That's what happened. That's what happened. They killed your ass on paper. And like I said, it's going to be nearly impossible for people who cannot trace their ancestry and find out where they was from. Now, here we go again in Boston, Massachusetts. All right, Boston area, 1790. Where's Indians at? If they came there in 1637 and through the 1600s, and they was enslaving the so-called Pequot, Nassagari, and the Wapanaki, where the fuck are they at on the damn census? Where they at? They right here. They're classified as black. Cambridge. Look, where they at? Where they at? You don't see no Indians on the fucking census. Yeah, you tell me where they at. You tell me what's the explanation for this. All over Massachusetts. It's all over Massachusetts. No, not available. Look, Indians. Remember the fourth column right here is Indian. Not available. Look, not available. Not available. Not available. Not available. So if they was property of the so-called United States or property of the colonies that was there, they would be on this fucking census, bro. They would be on here. You understand? They will be on here. Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? You tell me where they at. This is Massachusetts. This is where the brother Two Hawk is from. So where are the Indian slaves? You want to see something? Let's go here real quick. Let me show you something. Just so you motherfuckers don't think I'm bugging. So I'll find it. So you niggas don't think I'm bugging. 1492. From their nakedness, this is 1492. From their nakedness, Columbus inferred that the native people was inferior race. Columbus wrote, now these are words that they put in it, but he was using totally different verbiage because we can tell according to the Jesuit letters. He said to be an inferior race. Columbus wrote that his encounter with the Indian, they go all naked as their mother bore them. He said, and also the women. However, he noted that they could easily be commanded and made to work and sow and do whatever is needed to build towns, to be taught to wear clothes and adapt our way. Although Columbus wrote that they are the most peacefulest people and gentlest people in the world, he also recorded the first encounter between the Europeans and the New World, the Indians, filled with account of enslavement, murder, and rape. Where did he tell you he brought Africans here? And this is for you stupid ass Pan-Africans, right? Listen, think of it like this, right? So they brought, according to what the history they tell you, they brought 12 million people over here, right? by boat, right? They brought 12 million people who was at the bottom of wooden boats where they only had to sail at that point in time. They ain't had no plow, none of that other shit. I mean, they ain't had no motor or nothing else. They only had to sail at that point in time or whatever. Oh, what do our so-called great Pan-African scholars tell? Oh, there was a current that took you straight from Africa straight to the fucking Caribbean. Stop fucking lying, man. Stop lying. Stop lying. I'm tired of these niggas keep saying that because all that do is try to make you idea that they was bringing Africans here in a high number when I'm telling you that's not the motherfucking case. It's not the case. It's not the case. It's not the case. It's not. They didn't have to bring nobody here. Columbus said himself they didn't bring no Africans here. Oh, but he killed off all the people. That's the reason why wasn't nobody. Yeah, okay. They was classified as Negroes. And why would the English call you Negro? The English was calling you Negroes because when they took over the fucking Caribbean from the Spanish already was calling them Negroes. So they was already, and then when they bring you there, they would classify you as a Negro. So you gotta understand this too. A lot of people that were classified as Negroes came originally from the Americas, but came through the Caribbean and was brought back as Negroes. Okay, but they automatically just put us all in one fucking classification anyway, because on the census, you don't see Negroes and blacks being separate. Negroes are the blacks. Okay, now let's go down. Let's go right here. 1621. One of the first treaties between the colonists and Native Americans signed in the Plymouth Pilgrim enact the Peace Act with the Wapanaki tribe. It said with the aid of Squanto, English speaking. We know what happened to Squanto. Squanto actually was taken back to Europe. He was taken back to Europe and he popped back up. All right. Do we got Squanto right here? No, I don't got Squanto, but check this out. 1637. All right, now we're going to read just this and this, just to prove something. 1637. In the colony of Massachusetts, the Pequot Indians were the first slaves, but they would not endure the yoke. Okay, now, what do the Israelites tell you? They had yokes on their necks, and they was bought on ships. No, it was taken from here and took to the Caribbean and brought back. That's what the yokes was. If you study Columbus, Columbus said, I came to conquer Jerusalem. And he brought with him Hebrew interpreters. If you look at the Algonquin, the Iroquois, you look at these different languages they use, it is a form of Hebraic or Hebrew. Okay? They would not endure the yoke, so they were sent to Bermuda in exchange for Negroes. Now, they will automatically assume, oh, the Negroes was Africans. No, the Negroes was already the indigenous people was there. I just proved to you that they already found Negro skulls there that predates Columbus, and they was already telling you that the Negroes was the Arawaks. They thought they was Arawaks, but later on they found it was Negroes, but the Arawaks was the Negroes. That's it. Okay? In exchange for Negroes, in hope that later would bear slavery more patient. How the fuck you gonna say in hope later they would bear slavery more patient? Get the fuck out of here. The first exchange of Indians for Negro was made in 1637. The first year of the Pequot War was doubtless kept for many years. Now remember, understand this too. Understand this too. They was already shipping your ass from here to over there long time ago. Okay, it says on May 26, Captain John Mason and John Uphill, it say attacked and burnt the Pequot Forts, Connecticut, at Mystic, Connecticut. It says massacring 600 Indians starting the Pequot War. Now we go right here. 1639. It say Captain William Pierce, it say of Salem, Massachusetts, sell to the West Indians in exchange for Indian slaves for black slaves. Now, what? Hold up. First they calling you Negroes. Now they calling you black. Remember, when you see the word black, it ain't nothing but that you've been stripped of your so-called Aborigine culture. And this is a term that they give you. That's why today they tell you Civitim Motu. This is the whole reason why the Dred Scott case. Oh, I don't have to respect no so-called black man because you are a fucking subject of them. You are not in your original capacity, and that's the thing what the brother was saying yesterday. That how we gonna get back? How all of us gonna get back in our original capacities when they were shipping us? We are not even in our original areas where we belong. Even if your family was in Carolina for the last 200 years, that don't mean that they was from Carolina. I'm not telling you not to do the ancestry or not to do your research. Yeah, do your research. If you can prove that you was a Chickaw, Gullah, Gitche, or whatever, like Kerry Davis said yesterday, which I made videos on it telling you about the old Miki or Gitche River or whatever. These people think that they Africans because they dark skinned, because they telling you that the Indians was dark skinned. But guess what? Your boy Thompson's one already know. I already know that the physiognomy of that of the Indian is that of the Negro. What do the Smithsonian tell you? Oh, the first Americans resemble Africans. What do you resemble? What do you resemble today? What are they calling you? Come on, man. Stop fucking playing with me, man. Like this shit is just like it just fucking pisses you off, man. 1675 to 1676. It said King Philip War erupt in New England between colonists and Native Americans as a result of tensions over a colonist expansionist activities. Colonist expansion activities. What did I write? What was the video I just did? Truth about colonization or whatever. What did they want? They wanted the fucking land. So they wasn't going back home because you told them you wasn't going, nah, we ain't giving you the land. So they gonna be like, oh well, let's turn back around and just jump back on the boat and go home. No. It was either the land or you a slave or you was gonna die. Pick one. Okay? It said bloody war rages up and down the Connecticut River Valley in Massachusetts and the Plymouth and Rhode Island. We're gonna check this out. I just showed you in Massachusetts, there was no Indians there. Next, we going to New England. Next, I'm gonna show you on the census in New England. It says eventually resulting in 600 English colonists being killed and 3,000 Native American, including women, on both sides. It said King Philip wore the colonist nickname for Medicon, chief of the Wapanaki. It say is hunted down and killed on August 12, 1676 in the swamp of Rhode Island. It say in ending the war of the southern New England and ending the independent power of the Native Americans there. It say in New Hampshire and Maine, the Saco Indian continued to raid settlement, it say for another year and a half. It says July 30th, 1676, Bacon's rebellion, tobacco planter led by Nathan Bacon asked and are denied permission to attack the Sakwa Hanak Indians who have been conducting raids on colonist settlement. It saying raised the governor Berkeley refusal. The colonists burnt Jamestown and killed many Indians before the order is restored in October. All right. So here you go. They telling you that they was enslaving us the whole fucking time. So where are you at on the census? Why don't you see none of them on the census? Now just write this down real quick. In a second, y'all. All right, so I did Massachusetts. We can go to Connecticut on the census. I just want to write this down so I don't forget. We're going to go to Connecticut. We go to Rhode Island. And what's the other one? Hold up. I did Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and it's one I'm missing, and New England. All right, so let's go to the census. Now I prove to you that they was enslaving you, that they was enslaving them there. Okay, the brother Two Hawk actually tells you that they enslaved his family there, right? So now my thing is this: where we at? All right, we're gonna go to Connecticut first. Let's go to Connecticut, since Connecticut is all the way at the beginning. What's this? That's Alabama. Excuse me, y'all. California. I hope y'all enjoy this, man, because I'm just like really like I trace my ancestry back to my tribe. My people was Ani Yawanya, was Cherokee. My father is Gitche Gola Yamasi. So check this out, right? This is Connecticut. Let's just source this back up with what they said. The Mystic Connecticut massacre Indians and start the Pequot War. The Pequot War started in so-called Connecticut or whatever, according to what they're saying here, right? So let's go to Connecticut. Let's see if we can find any Indians here. Look, American Indians right here, fourth column. And well, this is this 1880. Look, 1880s. You don't see no Indians. Look, 1840, 1850, you don't see no Indians. 1880, you don't see no Indians. 1880 all the way to 1860, you don't see no Indians. 1890, you don't see no Indians. 18 all the way up to 1860, right? Now this is 1800s all the way up to 1860 again. These are different towns, y'all. These are different towns. Look, 1880 all the way up to 1860. Now, when you do start seeing them, even in the 90s, you only see small numbers of them. You only see small numbers of them, but you always see black people there. Okay, now look, in this city right here in Stanford, you don't see no blacks. You don't see no blacks there. Right here. And I guess this is in 18. This is in one of the towns. Okay, this is not the whole Connecticut, but we're going through all the towns. How many non-available do you see? Now this is Delaware. All right, so that's done. So we done in Connecticut. In Connecticut, you don't see no motherfucking Indians. You only see 8 Indians in 1920, according to the census. All right, so now let's go to Rhode Island, man. No, we're gonna go to New England first. Let's go to New England first. We already did Massachusetts. Showed you what no Indians in Massachusetts. All right. So how was people able to keep that? Because half of these people that's finding out the Indians just found this shit out as of recently. Recently, wasn't no you was practicing this shit your whole fucking time or whatever. Get the fuck out because you wasn't. Because we looking on the census and we don't see nothing there. So we don't see nothing there, we gotta come to the agreement that these people was classified as Negroes. You understand? And only a few people was able to really say, well, they was Indians. Okay, hold up. Let me see something. I don't know. Maybe I must have overlooked something. Hold up. Because I see. Oh, well, you know what? I'm bugging. New England is part of Massachusetts. That's the reason why you don't see it on here. Now, check this out. New Hampshire, right? Now, New Hampshire is kind of part of that part. You don't see, look, in 1790, you don't see no Indians on there. Where they at? Where they at? Where the Indians at? Where they at? Let me see something. North Carolina. Let me see something. Rhode Island. Let me see if Rhode Island even have a separate state for itself. Utah. Hold up. Let me go back up. Now just let that shit marinate. If they was moving you around and they was enslaving you and they was shipping you from different, all right, here we go, Rhode Island, right? Now let's just make sure that this is consistent with what I read. King Philip War. It says the bloody war rages up and down the Connecticut River Valley in Massachusetts and Plymouth and Rhode Island colonies. All right, so now look, let's see if we can find any Indians in Rhode Island. 1790, you don't see none. And then when you do get all the way, look, all the way up until 1960, you only see 32 Indians there. All the way to 1960. So how the fuck was these people claiming that they was Indian? Because half these people that's claiming to be Indian just found this shit out. They just found this shit. They had to just find it out. Because the census is not showing you. They're not showing you up there. Now look, we're gonna go down. 1870, you don't see nothing here. This is in Newport. Pawtucket, you don't see nothing here. This 1830. You don't see none here. You seen 2 Indians in 1890. Look, Providence, 1790 to 1850. You don't see none here. You see 25 Indians in 1870. And then it goes up. All right? Look. None. You don't see no Indians here. You do see black people, though. Look. Providence. Look how many blacks you see in Providence. These are all blacks. The third column is black people. All right. Here go your Indians right here. Your Indians are classed as blacks, man. Okay. All right. The Indians is classified as black. So like I said, with the real Indian, please stand up. And like I told you, we're going to read back through some more of this. And I'm about to end this video. I'm going to show you some more video. I'm going to show you some more images of what the real Aborigines look like. And I'm going to just review on what we talked about. All right. So check this shit out. They telling you, it say, as for those who mingle with their blood with the African Americans are the real Indians. It say too, they too would be absorbed through. They might not like the consequence. Let us consider the example of the Gigasins. It say the Eastern tribe had 2 strikes against it. They say its member refused to give up their tradition life ways. Say they refuse to give up their tradition life way. It say even worse, they intermarry freely and unseemly with blacks. Okay, now hold up. Hold the fuck up. Did we just not say that the people that's classified as blacks are the real Indian? See, this is what you gotta just first get out your mind. You got to get out your mind that I'm starting to think they didn't bring no Africans here. Because that small number, 380,000, could have easily been fucking half of the 2 to 5 million people that they mentioned that they sent out of here to the Caribbeans and brought them back. Because the number is larger than 3.8, what, 380 million out of, they telling you 5 million people? They could have easily brought back a small number of them and classify you as, see, understand, they wouldn't even classify you as Negroes back then. I mean, as Africans. That African shit is now to cover this shit up as a result of this 1924 Racial Classification Act. This is when, because they already knew prior to this 1924 that the blacks and Negroes was original Indians. They already knew that. They knew that already. Now look, it says this was an anthem of the Virginia intermarriage with whites could be and was tolerated. Intermarriage of blacks, however, was intolerable challenge to arbitrary color lines that has been in place since the first chattel slavery passed in 1661. Thus, in 1837, the Gaskins made their way into the history books, becoming the first U.S. tribe to be terminated. They say, nevertheless, needless to say, the Gaskin identity did not die with the legal decree. As late as 1855, Roundtree notes country map showed an Indian Town Creek as a settlement of several houses. Eventually, however, the white antagonists, not to mention opportunists, forced the Gaskin to merge into a sympathetic African-American community. There was no African-American community back then. The black tribes was people who was already taken off the land that was already classified as black. Okay? Look, if you don't understand this shit by now, When they show that word African, they ain't talking about nothing but Negro Indians, bro. It's a community. It's a tribe such as the Pukamonk, the Pamunkey, the Matapanas. It's a Upper Matapanas. It's a Nansemon and Rappahannock and Chickum homies. Took note of lessons and learned how to resist. A century later, it says century later, armed with awesome power of the state, Plecker declared war on these people, consulting a listing of surname associated with Native American ancestry, such as Beverly from Beaver, Spiral, Penn, Fields, Bear, and so on. And already from century-old census records that were likely to list Indians as mulatto. Now, remember, when you see the Indians as mulatto, that could be because of two things. That could be because of the Europeans that mixed with the indigenous Aboriginal blacks that was already here. How do you form a mulatto? How do you form a mulatto from a white and a black person mixing together? That's it. Okay, particularly, they say if the census were taken in time in Hannock notes, they say Plecker embarked on a crusade to reclassify every Native American in the state as African American. The fuck I tell y'all, man. Let's stop playing. Okay? Let's read that again. Plecker embarked on a crusade to reclassify every Native American in the state as African American. Man, this shit pisses me off. Let me see something. Let's go to Virginia real quick. Hold on, let me see. Let's go to Virginia, y'all. Vermont. All right, here we go. VA. All right, so look. Let's look for Indians again. All right, these are this Alexandria, right? Now hold on, let me see something. Trying to see what town that was. Commonwealth of Western. All right, so look. Let me show y'all something. All right, so that's just Virginia. We just gonna go through the whole Virginia. Fuck it. Look, Alexandria, right? Let's start right here. 690 through 1850. No Indians. Okay. You only start seeing Indians right here in 1950. All right. You see two in 1920. And check it out. Let's go down to Chesapeake. You don't see no Indians as early as, I would like to say that's like around, I don't know exactly what dates this is, but it's close to 1970. So I assume maybe 1950 and 1960. All right. So Hampton, Newport, News. You don't see no Indians. Right here. What's this? Norfolk. 1990 to 1850, you see no Indians. And then when you get all the way up here to 1860, you see 236 Indians. You know why? Because they all over here classified as blacks, man. Same thing here. Look. Same thing here. You don't see no Indians, all right? Go all the way down, 1990, 1979, 1790. Boom, Virginia Beach. You don't see no Indians here. And like I said, man, like I said, bro, if you can't figure that shit out from there, then you don't know what the hell. You don't know what the hell. Plecker embarked on a crusade to reclassify every Native American in the state as African. He is the reason why when you see that they was calling us Negroes and black, then they start calling us African. Well, he wasn't at the time calling you African American. He was calling you black or calling you Negro, all right, or colored. Calling you colored. So you automatically make the assumption that all colored people eventually became African Americans. All right. Now look, check this out. Plecker intimidated midwives wrote threatening pamphlets. It say editorialized in newspaper and trained the entire generation of county clerks and health services workers. His method, when all else fell, he simply changed the record to suit his prejudice, striking out the designation of Indian and replaced it with Negro or color. Now, what the fuck did I tell you? So eventually, every Negro, every person who was an Indian that classified himself as a Negro or color, eventually became an African American. And this is the reason why we so fucked up now, because they telling you that he's telling you that people who was really Indians, he classified them himself as Negro and colored. Okay, they say, but while the Powhatans suffered under Plecker tyranny, it say they refused to vanish. When necessary, they sacrificed both family ties and goodwill in the African American community by refusing to attend Jim Crow schools and segregation. What the fuck, y'all? Come on, man. What I tell y'all, man? What did I tell you, man? They say the isolationist tactics cost them. Indian communities in Amherst were often poor and poorly educated, but they appear to have worked. It is worth noting that Amherst Indians were successfully held themselves aloof from the black contamination. Now it's trying to say black contamination, right? But guess what though? We don't have to go with them, because you have anthropologists telling you that the first Americans look like Africans on Australia, South Pacific Island. We got Columbus. No, we got Verrazano saying that the people here look like rusted. We got Samuel Mortensen, who tell you that the physiognomy that of the Negro is the Indian, right? You got, what else we got? We got the Jesuit letter in Brazil claiming that the so-called Indians there was referred to as Negroes. We got Columbus saying that the people here was called Negroes. So let's stop fucking playing. Don't stop lying to us, man. Then on top of that, we got these. We got people like him saying the Negro type of scene in all ancient Mexican sculpture. And eventually he said America was a Negro continent. Why would he say that? Oh, because it was. And they want you to believe every time that you see a so-called black Indian, he is the African that mixed in with the Indians, which is the furthest thing from the fucking truth. And this is the reason why I'm telling you that when people tell you to go back and trace your fucking answer, yeah, I'm telling you to do it. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, because you might find it. But if you don't find it, don't be discouraged. You still can go back and reclaim your culture under the fucking undripping A-drip. Now, some people don't subscribe to it, but fuck it. That's treaty law. So at this point in time, if it's working for Two Hawk, then it can work for you as well. Yeah, there might be some things you got to go through. I done been thrown in self-contempt of court for challenging jurisdiction and all that shit. I have been through all that shit. But what I'm trying to tell you, at the end of the day, all you need to do is clarify yourself as who you are. Because you could easily say, we can easily prove that the Negro, it was already Negro Indians here. Easily. This is so easy. This is, look. Virginia, look, this is Boston, Massachusetts. Now look at this. This is Boston, Massachusetts. Look at the so-called Indians that was there. Do they look anything like these motherfuckers right here? Do they look anything like him? You tell me. You tell me. You tell me, do they look anything like them? Look. You tell me. You tell me. Now, I'm not saying all of them, because this is Cedric Cromwell right here. Cedric Cromwell right here. And you can see that, I don't know what his wife is. His wife looked like she could be a light-skinned black lady, or she could be like interracial, probably half black and half. But look at the people behind him. If you look at his mother, look at this. Look at the people behind. These is Negroes, man. These is Negro, but you still got white people. Look. You got people like this. Now, these are like what we would consider to be mulattoes or whatever. But check this out. Look, look at the Master P tribe. Look at these. Look at these people. None of these people look like these people here. None of them look like that. And we know that's just a drawing, but if you really look at it, we see a few black people here. You see one, two, maybe a few light-skinned blacks right here in the back, my brother right here, a few other people. But ultimately, they trying to say like this motherfucker right here is an Indian. See, a lot of these people mix in because of the Europeans mix in with us. Okay, so now that only makes it more confusing because the original real Indians probably in Boston somewhere in the fucking project somewhere. Okay, probably in the project somewhere, bro. Okay, and I'm not saying that these are descendants of the so-called Indian, but if the majority of us that's classified as blacks was going to powwow, you wouldn't even notice a lot of these mulattoes because it would be so many of us that's not even classified. So that's all I'm saying, man. I ain't got no problem with anybody claiming their so-called, if you do got 18% or whatever the fuck you say, out of 18 of your relatives, one of them are Indians, or out of every 32 of your Indians, one of them, out of every 32 of your relatives, one of them are Indians. Now look, see this, light-skinned brother, see this? These are Negroes, okay? We still live here, black Indians, okay? We know you lying motherfuckers. We know, and to get up. So, I mean, whatever you want to say or you want to do the Thompson, it really don't fucking matter. The gig is up. The gig is up. The gig is up, okay? It's up. It's over with. It's over with. It's over with. So what did we talk about? We went through We went through this article, the monthly anthropologist scientist, where they tell you that uninhabited Negro physical type inhabited Virginia islands in pre-Columbian. We go here. They telling you that they sent during the war, New England colony routinely shipped Native Americans as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, and Jamaica and exhort. Now, they would say that they exchanged them for Negroes. But if they telling you it was already Negroes there, then what are you talking about? Oh, because now they want to put a spell in your mind that these Negroes was African. When these people say these are pre-Columbian, Columbus never said anything about bringing any Africans there. Columbus never said anything about bringing any Africans in. In fact, when you go back and read his work, when you go back and read Columbus' work, check this out. Let me see. Where's that? Right here. Well, it's up here at the top. His work, he's telling you that he was calling these people Negroes. Okay? Negro de-terrors. Okay, so like I said, man, we already proved that where they were shipping the so-called Pinkwats to the Caribbean, it was already black people there. So they get traded Negroes who was already in North America for Negroes who was already in the West Indies and brought them back. Then eventually they will bring you back and they will reclassify you as black, where you forgot your whole nationality or your whole nationhood, because a lot of times they didn't send you back where they got you from. And this is facts. If you came from Massachusetts, more than likely you could be in Carolina, you could be in Louisiana, you could be in Virginia, you could be in New York. You don't even know exactly where your people came from. Unless when they brought you back here, you knew exactly where you was at. Because if there's no cars, there's no buildings, there's no like historical landmarks where you can basically tell where you was at, then you don't know where the fuck you was at. You could be in North America and not even know you're in North America. So like I said, it's a lot of us who have been reclassified and our culture has been reconstructed. So just because you got some people who just found out who they are, who can go on a reservation and where they sit and walk around and be like these people here, when these people right here, you see this shit right here? See this right here? See this right here? But they showing you that the Indians that they encountered didn't dress like that. The Indians they encountered had feather crowns on their grass skirts. So where did this culture right here come from? Where this culture came from? This is the fucking fake Indian culture. This ain't our culture. Our culture, we feather crowns. We did not walk around here and look like these individuals that they showing you. We wore feather crowns. We did not walk around here and look like a lot of these individuals. So like I said, even with these brothers, they don't even know who the fuck they are. They don't even know who the fuck they are. They only practicing the culture that the so-called Indian, the Native American culture is practicing. So like I said, man, like I said, man, this is just my opinion according to the history that I put together. But I know for my own self, like these people right here, you can tell they got black in them, but we don't know how much black they got because they also got white in them. But the white man can claim to be a fucking Indian too, which is something I'm not cool with. Now look at right here. This is Southern, it's a New England, the Algonquin, right? Now everybody has seen this image before right here. These are all Negroes, man. You can see these, even these is Negro. Okay, this man right here might have more European features than the rest of them, but the majority of people, when you see this picture right here, are Negroes. Okay? So like I said, man, it's kind of difficult for a lot of us to go back and claim who we are because we are not of these people that they showing you, man. We not these people. So like I said, if you was one of the unlucky poor fellas that was taken from Massachusetts, that never had an opportunity to go back to Massachusetts, and how you going to find your original tribe? You're only going to be able to track yourself down to where you was brought back to. And that will automatically make you from, that will automatically say, well, all right, well, if you was brought, let's say, if you was one of the unlucky brothers that was shipped from Massachusetts in the 1600s, let's say by 1670 or whatever, right? Yo, you might not never came back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real confusing when you dealing with this stuff because some of these brothers and sisters never came back. So when they telling you that they were shipping Negroes, them was probably the descendants of the people who originally that they bought from here, as well as the Negroes who was already there. So like I said, we talked about that. We talked about the Jesuit letters. We went over what Van Spoochie said. Verrazano said the people look like color rustic. We went over Samuel Mortensen, where he said the physiognomy of the Negro is that of the Indian. He's telling you that they found different shades of color from complexion to fair tint to almost black. Okay? Now it's telling you that the characteristics of the Indian is that of the Negro. What else we found? We go to Smithsonian Institute. They made the outlandish claim to tell you modern Native American closely resemble China, Korean, and Japan. But the first Americans resemble Africans, Australian, and South Pacific Islanders. That's the reason why you see this picture right here. It's the reason why you see this picture right here. Okay? What else we talked about? We went through the census chart. We went and showed you even in Massachusetts where the brother Two Hawk said his family was enslaved and they had slaves in there. We don't see no Indian slaves on no motherfucking census. We don't even see no Indians on the census at all because the Indians are classified as black. We went here. We studied Walter Plecker research. But he's telling you right here in his own motherfucking words, Plecker embarked on a crusade to reclassify every Native American in the state as African. When we go here, Plecker intimidated midwives, whole threatening. Now, we know the word African American didn't exist until 1989. I don't care what anybody say, because you go back and show me that they was calling people African Americans. It's not on the census. I went back to 1790. They don't even mention no African on it. So where were they calling you Africans at? Well, don't let these idiots tell you, oh, that's funny. Oh, I heard Garfield tell Minister Inky that he laughed like that was the funniest shit. You show me where they was classified, you letting you call yourself an African. Where? 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 Let's go right here. Plecker intimidated midwives in pamphlets. It's a editorialized newspapers and trained the entire generation of clerks, county clerks, and health service workers in his method. When all else failed, he simply changed the records to suit his prejudice, striking out the designation of Indian. So, and replacing it with Negro and color. So how many Negroes and color people? Probably every Negro and color person in Virginia probably was saying, the ones who remembered who they was saying that they was Indian. Now they all classified as Negro and color. But guess what? As of 1989, now they African Americans. So now they make you think that every time you see the word Negro or color, these are descendants of Africans. And this is the bullshit, man. And people, you got to wake up, man. You got to really wake up and understand this. Say both while the Powhatans suffered under Plecker tyranny, it say they refused to vanish. When necessary, they both sacrificed family ties and a goodwill with African American community. Both refused to attend Jim Crow schools and segregation churches. Okay? They say the isolationist tactics cost them the Indian community in Amherst were poorly educated, but they appear to have work. It's a appear to have work. It say it is worth noting that the Amherst Indians who successfully held themselves aloof from the black contamination. Now they saying black contamination when he just said that the Indian was classified as Negro and colored. Okay. Let's say regained tribal recognition in the 1980s. So they picked and chose in the 1980s who they was going to be allowed to be Indian. And then most of the people who was probably from this original stock right here, the Indians that was classified as Negro and color, now they no longer classified as that because they saying that they was contaminated by blacks. Which what do the Smithsonian Institute tell us? The original Indian, the original Aborigines of North America resemble Africans, Australian, South Pacific Islands. We got plenty of other articles and plenty of other facts that's telling you the same thing. All right. So like I said, man, I said another group living in Amherst County will probably reclaim African Native Asian ancestry. The Buffalo Ridge Cherokee did not. All right. So like I said, man, it's a lot, man. It's a lot dealing with this. Let me see how far we go with this. All right, so like I said, man, do your research. If you can't do your ancestry, go back as far as possible. But pretty much what I do is I already found my ancestry or whatever. But like I said, I don't really have to even do that. Let's read a little bit of this. I think I read this. Let me see something. Yeah, I read through this already, but let's read a little bit more and I'm gonna end this. All right. So it's an American Indian. It's a Jim Crow laws was set oppressive laws that reclassified Native American Indians in the category as Jim Crow laws. Who went through Jim Crow? Colored people. Martin Luther King was classified as a colored. My father, black ass, was classified as colored. He got colored on his birth certificate. All my father's family don't have no light-skinned people on his fucking side of the family. They all classified as colored. Okay? Jim Crow reached the greatest influence during the decade of 1910, 1920, and 1930. Okay? It said amongst were the hypodescent laws defining black as black. Anyone suspected of black ancestry. It say even those with very small portions of black ancestry, Tennessee adopted such a one-drop statute in 1910, and Louisiana would soon follow. So all of these motherfucking states, Texas, Arizona, Arkansas, Mississippi, North Carolina. Look, it says Tennessee adopted such as the one-drop statute in 1910, and in Louisiana soon followed. Then Texas and Arkansas in 1911, Mississippi in 1917, North Carolina in 1923. So it's telling you that they all follow the same law, and through propaganda that anyone who was claiming to be black or colored was eventually said, no, you're African. But they wasn't even using the term African. So like I said, man, shit is crazy. Both records were also delayed in the state enforcing the one-drop rule. They say they were filed late to make these oppressive racial changes. The Virginia laws, which allowed the delayed birth registration, declared its own purpose differently. They say its formal title was an act to preserve racial integrity. It say, and it went into effect in 1924. This also occurred in North Carolina as well as other states. Virginia began the one-drop rule in 1924, Alabama 1927, Oklahoma in 1930. It says during the same period, Florida, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Utah retained their own blood fraction statute de jure. It say but amended these fractions 1/6 or 1/36 to be equivalent to be one drop facto. The one drop rule was overturned in 1967 by the Supreme Court. The one drop rule is illegal. Yeah, we know that. It say before this time, many Native Americans were not allowed to claim. Now they try to say many Native Americans now was not allowed to claim a legal status of Indian due to white vital records of officials. The census takes enforcing the one drop rule and through the government records suppress the Indian native blood ancestry and official documents. So when people ask why did Native have records changed back to Indians, they say the law prevented this from being done. They say and any Indian born before 1967 wasn't living on government regulated Indian reservation or in a community with a massive Indian population was forced listed as colored. So now these people right here that I'm reading about right now, how the fuck is they gonna go back and find out who they are? How they gonna go back? Now I'm not telling you not to go back. Do your ancestry, please do. But I'm telling you, it's going to be tens of millions of us who cannot trace ourselves back. Some remedy for us. All right, now check this out. It says on reservation or in a community with massive eye. It say we are not black, we are not white or Latino. All right. So there you have it, man. They telling you this in this article right here, as well as the Jesuit letter, as well as Samuel Mortensen, as well as the monthly record of anthropology and sciences already telling you that was already people in the West Indies that was classified as black, as well as Columbus, as well as the Smithsonian Institute, as well as these articles telling you that it's a Native American slavery. Now, see, this is really the icing on the cake, that they was enslaving us here, which we was POWs, because the war became, we didn't want to give them their land. So now we war with them. They capture us. You're a POW. You are put into servitude. And what happened from there? You are stripped of your culture. They send you to the Caribbean, bring you back. Now you're a Negro. Now you don't know you don't know what tribe you belong to for the most part. If you happen to be one of the lucky motherfuckers who was sent back, eventually you was adopted by some of these other tribes in the north or in the south. That's what eventually happens. A lot of the Pequot, a lot of the Wapanaki, when they was moved back to Carolina, they eventually probably became Choctaw, Yamasee, or Cherokee. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I said, we talked about 2 to 5 million so-called Native Americans was enslaved in America. Now check this out. If I'm already telling you, where did they tell you that they brought the so-called majority of African slaves? They doing this to cover up the fact of this. The recent paper of Journal by Brixton, Julian, and Trevor implies that undeformed native physical type inhabit the Virgin Islands in the pre-Columbian times. Okay, now it says not only is this an implication contrary to previously accepted findings by the Until area, it say as it will be shown later, it say, but it also failed to give adequate consideration to possibly that all these skeleton remains represent intrusive Negro burials. Okay. This is what they're doing. They're covering up the fact that, and every time you see that it was a so-called Negro in the Caribbean, they will call him an African. This is what they're doing. So I'm not even going to say that they brought any Africans here, bro. I'm not even going to say it. You have to prove it to me. Yeah, we know Chief What's the brother? What's the chief in South Carolina? He said that they brought some so-called Africans here in the 1800s, in the late 1700s, 1800s. But that ain't the Geechee or the Gula. The Geechee and the Gula had always been there. And a lot of the Geechee and Gula later became the Seminole. Now that's what I'm trying to say. We was moving around, so a lot of us can't even trace our original identity or what tribe we was originally were. So if you happen to be somebody who can trace themselves back to the 1600, you are very fucking lucky. You are so lucky. Most of us cannot do that. So like I said, man, do your research, man. All right, don't let nobody sell you a dream that it's just gonna be that easy to claim and jump in. I don't want to be on none of these tribes with these people, man. I want to be in the tribe that I'm in now with the rest of my people. Okay, I don't want to be on the tribe with none of these fake Indians, because how would I feel? How would I feel being in the tribe with all these different mixed people or whatever, and then my real people are classified as African Americans and they can't even come back into the fucking nation of man. They can't even come back. Now you see this? You see this? This is Choctaw Indians. Look at these people. This is Choctaw, because you know what? The people that they was allowing to claim had to look like this. Okay, even though that we know most of, just like Hamak said. Shout out to the brother Hamak. I know a lot of people ain't gonna subscribe, but I don't give a fuck. I'm not united with a lot of you motherfuckers anyway. And I'm just putting this out there. I don't know who Tomahawk Tony is, but yo, you ain't got to make no comment telling me that I'm not interviewing a brother. Next time, mind your business. I'm not cool with you. You cool with some of the other brothers who I fuck with. So don't make no comment about when I'm asking questions, because I'm trying to find out my motherfucking history as well. So I'm not cool with nobody. I don't care if you can unsubscribe to my channel. You can pop shit. I can pop shit too as well. Don't tell me not to ask no fucking questions. It's not my interview. Mind your motherfucking business next time. Okay? Mind your motherfucking business. And that goes for the rest of you tough guys popping shit to the this one. Or when I'm trying to find out my culture of reading the motherfucker. If he was reading it and he was able to see the chat and he was able to say, well, damn, this brother Tonch is one asking questions and he wanted to answer, that's up to him. You don't tell me this is not my motherfucking interview. Mind your motherfucking business next time. I don't care if you is in cahoots with African Americans, ain't African, or Curry Davis. Next time, mind your business. Like I said, I got a few people who I'm in cahoots with. I'm not in cahoots with everybody because I don't fuck with everybody. Okay? I don't fuck with everybody. So niggas need to stay in their motherfucking lane. Don't comment. You ain't got to comment on my channel just because you cool with certain people who I fuck with don't mean I don't bow down to the people who I'm cool with. We family, but I don't have no motherfucking leader. I self-law and master. I don't have no motherfucking leader when it comes to this indigenous work. So understand that, overstand that. Next time asking questions, mind your business. All right? So with that being said, man, I hope y'all like this presentation. I could care less if people getting their feelings or whatever. I'm not in cahoots with a lot of these people or whatever. Like I said, I'm trying to really help my people. Why do I give a fuck about one person feeling when you got almost 80 million of us who fucking classify as something that they ain't gonna be able to fucking get themselves out of? Okay? So understand that. All right? So, like I said, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed this lecture, man. You enjoyed this research right here. This pretty much shows you with a real Aborigine. Please stand the fuck up. Please stand the fuck up. Please stand up. These are Massachusetts Indians. Where are these people at? They got afros, okay? They ain't got no straight hair, no motherfucking ponytails. They got feather crowns on the ground and the feather where we all through the Americas. We see this in Virginia. This is not an African. This is an Aboriginal American with a damn afro, okay? Okay? Plantation. These are Aborigines. These are more Virginia Aborigines, okay? Moor. Look, they calling him a Moor. This is any time you see him smoking because he came from Virginia. This is probably in Amsterdam because of the fucking Dutch that came in as well. What? Look at these people. These are Aborigines. This is in Canada. This is Halifax. See Halifax. Look at the people in Halifax that was sent to that was sent to Sierra Leone. They go to real American, not these bastards right here. The real American right here. Oh, that's an African. Nah, we gonna stop that shit, yo. We gonna stop. Look, see these? Look at the Indians. They got afros. Have this straight hair like they showing you, like these motherfuckers, man. They don't look like these people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry to hurt anybody's feelings who claim to be a Native American, but guess what? I'm not a Native American, nor do I want to be one. I'm right here. I'm Aboriginal from earliest existence from the beginning, especially referred to the inhabitants of the land colonized by Europeans. Okay? So lose me with the bullshit. See this? Oh yeah, I can go for days with these pictures. More Aboriginals. Look. Oh, the more Africans. Fuck out of here. These are Aborigines right here. These are all indigenous people that was already here, man. These are all people who was enslaved. Let's see him right here. And behind him, he still got his head garb on. These are all Aboriginal people right here. Stop your fucking bullshit, man. Look, Mexico. Look. With the real Indian, please stand the fuck up. Please stand up. Check this out. Let's go ahead. Let's look at this. Why are all these people depicting fucking... Look at this. Where are these Indians at? Where they at? Where they at? They ain't walking around here looking like these Indians right here. They don't look like these Indians right here. They don't look nothing like them. So where are these Indians at? Where are these Indians at? Oh, you don't want to know where they're at? I'm going to show you where they're at right now. Check this out. You want to know where these Indians at? These Indians are right here. These Indians are right here. Plecker embarked on a crusade to reclassify every Native American in the state as an African American. How can he classify every Native American as an African American? How? How could he do that? Let's say Plecker intimidated midwives. It say wrote threatening pamphlets, editorialized newspapers, and trained the entire generation on the county clerk and health service workers in his method. When all else failed, he simply changed the record to suit his prejudice as striking the designation of Indian and replacing it with Negro. How can you call an Indian a Negro? Because they're going to tell you, oh, the only reason why you look like that because you mixed with the Africans. But didn't the Smithsonian Institute say that the first Americans resemble Africans? Don't this picture right here? If you didn't know no better, when you say that this is the African right here, when you say that these are Africans right here, oh yeah. Oh yeah, look, North America. Look at these people. Look at this man right here. Look, let's take a good look at this. See this? He got breastplates on, chains and everything. Got an afro, more afro hairstyles in the back. Look, more afro hairstyles. So how did their hair get like this? They was getting shape ups. How did their hair go from this to looking like this? Looking like this. You tell me. Would the real American Indian please stand the fuck up? Please, modern day. Look, famous modern day Native Americans who then sold out. Look, they done sold out. Look at your man Obama. Look, they sold us out. Look, Michael Obama, we know that he probably an American Indian too. Okay? Look. Sell out. Sold us the fuck out, bro. Sold us the fuck out, yo. Only thing he did was allow the so-called freemen to be announced or to be represented among the Cherokee, but he still said that the freemen are African. When the Smithsonian Institute telling you that the first Americans are African. Now, for you to be an Aborigine means these Aborigine right here. For you to be an Aborigine means you have to be one of the first from time existing. What did they tell you the first Americans resemble? Africans, Australia, South Pacific. None of these people resembled it. These people resemble the modern Native Americans as mentioned. Okay, so like I said, man, yo, man, look, doing a documentary, Culture Freedom. The link is right here in the description. I got so-called t-shirts. You can go right here to my spot and cop something from your boy. You know what I'm saying? Spend some money or spend something so we can fucking get this shit together. Represent yourself, man. Represent yourself, man. Straight the fuck up, yo. Represent yourself, all right? All right? It's over a 2-hour video, man, of actual facts and indigenous and real information, okay? So represent your boy, man. You understand? Represent your boy, okay? Return of the Ancient Ones, Black Indians, Aboriginal Society. And like I said, I got way more designs than this. I ain't gotta look. American Aboriginal. We know that this is what they made the Indian eventually to look like. This was the Birmingham niggers or whatever. The feather up, time shines. We got the PW. We got the prisoners of war. We got the Jaguar warriors. We got the land of the thieves, home of the slaves. Okay. We got my official King Power Chief of Tanchan signal. And this is pretty much for this right here. I did that to represent the feather crown. And the people who don't rock the feather crown no more, because now they got you dressing up like these guys. They got you thinking this is your culture. Nah, this ain't my culture. If I go to a powwow, I'm going to powwow with a feather crown on and a motherfucking grass skirt. That's what I'm going there with. That's how I'm going there. I'm going there with a feather crown on and a motherfucking grass skirt. Okay? That's it. And I'm going to have an Aboriginal shirt on and let people know. Now, this brother right here, this is a Negro. You understand? Now, in the Wapanaki and the Pequots, there are a lot of Negroes. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that. But they got you practicing this fake-ass tradition when this is not really the culture in which we was doing. Look at this motherfucker. Look. See what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Stop it. Stop the bullshit. Stop it. If you do not look like these people right here, you understand? Look at this, man. Look. Would the real American Indian please stand up, yo? Please. Look. Look at these American Indians. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this bastard. Colonization. Put them under perpetual servitude. Look, this is California. Look, California. Say the king. They say the king of the California places his crown of feathers. Places his crown of feathers. All of these tribes we seen wore feather motherfucking crowns. They was not dressed up, running around in circles like these people. They was not. This is not our culture right here. But you got some people, oh man, I know my culture. This is not our culture. It's not our culture right here. It's not our culture. We didn't live in no teepees. We lived in long houses. We did not live in teepees. Now, some of them probably did, but most of them understand. Like I said, this is not our culture, bro. This is not our culture. So you ain't probably never gonna find your fucking culture because of this bastard right here, Walter Plecker, Plecker embarked on a crusade to reclassify every Native American in the state as African Americans, which we wasn't African. We was right here, Negro in color, which later became African American thanks to fucking Jesse Messy, the agent Jackson. Okay? Okay? Like I said, man, Reed, this is a good explanation of what pretty much took place. All right, it's a battles in red, black, and white. Okay, now, like I said, these are mulattoes. These are not the indigenous inhabitants. The original indigenous inhabitants are classified as Africans and Negroes and colors. It tells you that it said when all else failed, He simply changed the records to suit his prejudice and striking out the designation of the Indian and replacing it with Negro or colored or mulatto. Okay? All right? Okay? Like I said, man, if you want to do your ancestry, redo it, man. The Sister Phoenix Moon is good at doing that, as well as there's other brothers and sisters who can do that as well. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and please do it, man. And if you can't link yourself back to a tribe, please do it. But all of us ain't gonna be able to link ourselves back to a tribe. So what's gonna happen then? We're gonna sit there and make comments and make funny remarks and say, well, oh, I was able to link myself back to the 1600. Everybody not gonna be able to do that. Why everybody not gonna be able to do that? Oh, let's go to the summer jam screen. Native American slavery is a piece of history of slavery that has been glossed over, Fisher said. Between 1492 and 1880, between 2 to 5 billion Native Americans were enslaved in the Americas. In addition, now we know this number right here is bullshit. These people, this number right here is mainly people who was taken already from the Caribbean, who was already there, and the people who were sent from here to the Caribbean, and this is it. Okay? Now it says, remember, during the war, New England colonies routinely shipped Native Americans as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, and Azores, and Spain. Now, we already touched about Spain because we got the letters from the Jesuits, and Tangier in North Africa, okay? It says, while Africans were enslaved, these were the Africans that were enslaved. Check that. It said, while African was enslaved, it said did not know where they would be taken. Native American understood that they could be sent to the Caribbean plantation and face extreme harsh treatment from their home communities. It say, according to the study, it's all like I told you, man. Like I told you, they will send you over there. They will send you, if you was a hostile so-called Indian, or you was one of them Indians that was warm with them, if they didn't kill you, they would capture you, send your ass out there to the Caribbean, and probably leave your ass out there. You probably never came back. So that's why a lot of brothers and sisters that's in the Caribbean now are our brothers and sisters, man. They are. They are our brothers and sisters, whether you like it or not. That's why they're telling you Barbados, Bermuda, and Jamaica. So they were sending Aborigines from New England to Barbados, Bermuda, and Jamaica. You think that they was bringing these people? Do you think they was in the rush to bring them back here? So you think they was in the rush to bring them back here? Huh? Now we went over King Philip War. We went over that was in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, or whatever. We went over that. We went to the census. We did not find any of the fucking so-called Indians that was enslaved there. Because you know why? Because they was already classified as black. That's it. All right? So with that being said, man, I'm about to end this, man. Look, man, support your boy so your boy can get this damn documentary out. Documentary be powerful or whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, man, y'all enjoyed this, man. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this article. Like I said, and if you can't claim who you are, then do it. If you can't, then you need to find another remedy to at least say that, well, boom, I'm one of the reconstructed Indians, or the Indians that was you can prove it through Walter Plecker. You can easily prove it that if you was an Indian and it was passed down through word of mouth, Walter Plecker helped destroy that in the 1920s. So that is also a piece of documentary that you can use, claiming or proving that that's what happened. That was over here. We got too much records proving that it was already blacks here. But guess what? The people that's supposed to be pushing that is never going to push it, because they're going to always tell you that they was Africans. They try to tell, the African slave trade, when they get telling you 2 to 5, all these people were sent out from here to over there. All right. So with that being said, man, you already know, man. Some motherfucking attention this one, man. And I'm out of here, man. Hopefully you enjoyed this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Go back and coach if you can. Go find your coach out if you can. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, like I said, you enjoyed this, man, and you got a brief understanding of how, you know, you have people who can link themselves back to their original tribe, but we also have people who can't. all of us are not going to be able to link ourselves back to our original tribes. Okay? So, let me see something. Before we get out, let me throw you guys a few more snippets on these. Look, these are the real Indians look like, just like the Smithsonian Institute, the Indians that of the Negro. Okay? Look. 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 See that? Look. Look. More Negroes. Come on, man. Stop the bullshit. Paraguay. Negroes. I don't know where it's at. These people right here, some of them look like Negroes. That's in Florida. It's probably because of the Spanish that came in. Look, America. Look, obviously looking Negroes. Look, these are Negroes. Okay, let's stop it. Stop your bullshit. Stop lying to us. More Negroes. Look, Negro. Look. New York, same thing. Why the tribes in New York had the feather crown on and the grass skirt? Why didn't the tribes in New York? Because remember, the tribes in New York was connected to the tribes in Massachusetts and Connecticut. So why are they not running around here with them ridiculous outfits like they be wearing? Why? It's a real Choctaw. See this? She looked the way she looked because she's a mulatto. She was mixed. Aniawanya. You see this? Chickasaw. Okay? Now look, it says striking view of fort of the coast of Brazil. Ogbali included the two Ghanaians in distance and the picture scene of merchant trading goods with the Native Americans. This view was appeared in John Ogbali Seminole Atlas. America being the earliest, latest, and most accurate description. Now they showing you what the fucking Brazilians look like. America, look, where this Indian at today? Her name probably is motherfucking you know how we be having these ridiculous names and shit, man. Rashana or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? look, look at this right here. So fellas, ladies and gentlemen, if these are the colonists right here coming here, showing you the cross, then black sister come from? Where did his black brother come from? Where did he come from? Where did he come from? Hmm? Where? Where? Because it's obviously Florida. So look, man, the gig is up, man. You don't want to see the taunts in this one. Look, America. Why they showing you Negroes time and time again representing the Americas? Same picture. Jamaica, more Negroes. Look, America. Look at this motherfucker right here, man. Look at him right there. Look. Look at him. Look at him. The fifth guy. And you ain't got to worry about the straight hair because I just showed you so many pictures of Indians with afros. So you ain't got to even go there. Oh, you got straight none. I can show you more pictures of Americans with afros. Look, where is Indian at today? Somebody grandmother in the hood with prior diabetes and shit playing scratch offs and smoking cigarettes. Look, why would they depict this? It say growing up, the pilgrims came to America, most of the Wapanaki. Why would they depict this sister right here as a damn Indian when they got plenty of Mongoloids and plenty of mulattoes that they could have easily put up there? Because they're telling you the truth. So they have to give you but so much of the fucking truth for you to understand. They have to. They have to. They have to give you but so much of the truth for you to clearly understand, man. And like I said, look, Let nobody tell you they're Aborigine, bro. If they're not first inhabitants, they're not Aborigine, okay? Don't let them lie to you. Everybody cannot use that word Aborigine, okay? Once again, for the slow people that gets off the bus every day, America, a noun. A native of America originally applied to the Aboriginals. What do Aboriginal mean? Just for you slow guys. First, earliest, existing from the beginning, especially in reference to the inhabitants of the land colonized by Europeans. Okay, now we go a little further. It say, or copper color races. What color is copper, you damn idiots? What color is copper? Look, grading the color of copper coins. Yeah, we know that they're coins, but this is copper. This is copper. Look, brown, brown, and red. Okay? 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 That's why you see this little sister right there, because she is real Indian. More pictures, more images, more calling you black. Look, shit go on and on. See this? Feather crown, grass, we wore. So when they show you idiots on these fucking powwows walking around here wearing all this foolish shit, this is what you wore, man. This is from my research all over. If I just showed you in California, he put the feather crown on their head. We was wearing that shit everywhere. Look at that man. God damn, look at that shit. Huh? Look, watermelon, a Negro next to watermelon. Virginia, look, same thing on. Same thing. So we know that this shit is not made up. Negro, look at him. Look at this. Look, got his hair braided just like the Negroes be wearing. Look, it's a Negro. It's a Negro. He don't got the obvious looking straight hair, whatever. So obvious plagiarized story roots, stole it from Alex Harold Correlander. We know this already. More images of what the Negro or Aborigines looking like. In Florida, this is a Negro. Skulls found in Peru. You already know. More Negroes, like I showed you in that picture before. Let me see something right here. Hold up. Let me read this a little bit and we out of here. 1737, the map is based on Jansen's map of 1651. That's a source for you. Jansen's map of 1651. It's a replaced resulti. It's a view of New York City with a new view of New York entitled New York. New York. They spelling it Neujorck. It's a New Amsterdam with a key to the view in Latin. Close up an elaborate scene depicting natives and gods presenting tributes to the English monarchy George II, right? It's a note that the native New England black people are black, not Native American Indians, okay? Come on, man, let's stop this bullshit. Look, there you go right there in fucking Amsterdam. A Negro with a pipe in his hand with the same feather crown. Where are they show? You show me any of the images that I'm showing you that any of us look like these people. You show me. So if I'm wrong, then why the people who came here prior to this is not depicting these people that look like this? Why? Because we didn't, because we wasn't wearing that shit. That's why. That's why. That's why. Look, feather crown. Yo, man, like I said, bro, and this is in Brown University right here, right? Look at the Indians. Why the Indians don't have them ridiculous? Look, that look like a fucking camel in the background. Look, they go pyramid too. Look at that. That's a pyramid. Look, it's a camel in the background. Look at this shit, yo. Look at this shit. Look at the American Indian. Look, this is an African though. This is an American Indian. Okay. Look, more American Indian. Look. Look, Brown University. Look at the American Indians in the back. Look at them. Look. Got your ass praying to this cracker. Look. It's like they playing golf or doing something back here. Look, like he got a golf club or something. Look, this man has an afro. He has an afro. Come on, let's listen. Okay, stop it. Stop the foolishness. Next, the Mayans, brother like Lil Wayne, dreadlocks. Look, we know this European got off the boat. This might be a mixture of her and one of the European men. Look, why the why the Negroes got the same thing on that the Powhatans and all of the tribes here? I'm showing you. Man, listen, man, I'm done, man. I'm out of here, man. Man, this is your boy the Thompson, this one, man. Will the real Indian please stand the fuck up, man? Because we've been lied to. And like I said, it's not going to be easy for everybody to claim who they are because you ain't going to be able to find out who were because either you was fucked over in the 1924 or you was fucked over when they first got here because ain't none of us that was here that's fighting these people or warring with these people on their original landmass. Unless you bow down and you got treaties with them. All right. So with that being said, man, I am the Autochthonous one, my brother. All right. Support your brother. Get this documentary, Culture Freedom. With that being said, man, I'm out of here, man. Y'all enjoy y'all day.